Beware the Ides of March, which has absolutely nothing to do with the episode that we're talking about this week. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Doctor Who Reviews. This week, we're reviewing Earthshock.
Shocking.
Yeah. This is not going to be one of those reviews with good vibes, I can tell you that right now. Just saying the word Earthshock has made the energy drain out of the room.
I mean, it wasn't a bad serial.
It's not a bad serial, but it's one that one of us in particular has very bad vibes about, and that's just sort of spread to the rest of us.
Oh, there are vibes all around, but
anyway, I'm not blaming you. I'm not blaming you. You have good reason to feel this way.
Yeah, you're not blaming me. Kat can do plenty of that for the both of you.
Yeah, and I'm gonna.
Speaking of Kat, then, I'm joined by my two usual co-hosts. Firstly, to my virtual left, he is Kilroy. Kilroy. It's Freezing Inferno.
Wait, we're not redoing Warrior's Gate. What is this Kilroy business?
I couldn't think of anything, so my mind just went to Mr. Roboto.
No, I get it. Cause don't worry, I'll make it tie in later. Trust me.
Good to hear. And to my virtual right, unlike the Cybermen, she defies all logic. It's Kat.
Yay! Finally, someone who understands what I'm all about. And also, fun fact, we are actually covering this on March 15th, which means that we're pretty much covering it the day it premiered, almost.
Yeah?
Oh, really? I didn't.
March 8th to the 16th.
Yes,
so,
we totally planned this. We didn't.
39 years ago, on the day of recording, part 3 of Earthshock.
Yeah.
How about that?
So yeah, this is a very significant serial in Doctor Who history for a number of reasons.
That fan I love to keep bringing up because it defies my mind every time I look through it and see what's ranked. This is the 24th best Doctor Who story, which I believe it's 2 points above Curse of Fenrir.
I have a response to that. No, it isn't.
No.
It's not bad, but it's not 24th best.
No.
I know why it's up there to the degree because of the two big things about it.
Yeah, and also it's a traditional. I can see it being a story that a traditional Doctor Who fan would really enjoy.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's made for them to a degree.
Yeah, I don't want to say it's cookie cutter because that does a disservice, but it's very vanilla.
It's the right points.
Here, I'll lay it out like this, okay? Cybermen stories over the past 55 years, the pendulum's sort of been swinging on the nostalgia train. So you had, and I think we can bring this episode up still, you had Tomb of the Cybermen back in 66, 67, whenever the hell that story came out. And, you know, people liked it for some reason. There were Cybermen. They burst out of their tombs in a pretty good sequence. It stuck in the mind of all the little terrified 8-year-olds hiding behind the sofa or whatever. So come 15 years later, we get nostalgia for that. We get Earthshock, which is like, hey, wow, remember those Cybermen guys who scared you when you were 8? They're back with a big new design. It's for the 1980s. And well, the pendulum of nostalgia shifted again. And who was inspired as a child watching Earthshock in 1982?
Just don't say Chibnall.
Chris Chibnall?
I mean, he could not say Chibnall, but he would be lying because it's absolutely Chris Chibnall.
Yeah, I mean, Ascension of the Cybermen is just an Earthshock tribute.
And now I've watched this in full, I can totally see that. And I hate Ascension even more now.
Unfortunately.
I mean, if I hate Ascension less for the handling of the Cybermen and more for the Brendan subplot, but that's, well, we can get to our review of that.
Oh, God, yes.
Current Doctor Who reviews, if you want to peek at that, but...
Yeah, I'll put I'll probably link to it in the description or something. But, yeah.
I will have words about the Cybermen, but we should launch into this story, so it is a Peter Davison story from near the tail end of his first season. You've got Tegan, Nissa, and Adric, companions we've all talked about to some degree, but we haven't actually covered a story with all three of them.
No, until now.
No.
And it's significant because of Adric, but we'll get to that. I thought I was ripping off a Band-Aid here, like avoiding a spoiler that Kat didn't know. Turned out Kat knew the spoiler already, so this podcast became entirely superfluous the moment I announced it.
Well, no, I knew what was going to happen to Adric. I did not know how it was going to happen to Adric.
Yeah, that's the kicker.
And that's the part that got me.
So look forward to that when we get to there, but we don't open with Adric. We open with some tourists rock climbing in Cardiff. Sorry, with some soldiers traversing an unknown planet.
Now, I will say, the way Earthshock is set up, I actually, on its own in isolation, kind of like part one of Earthshock. Because this is, we all know it. I mean, you wouldn't know it on transmission until the ending, which was the big cliffhanger part. This is a Cyberman story. The first big Cyberman story in a couple of years. The last time they showed it was Tom Baker's first season. That was like 6-7 years ago at the time. So it's like, this is a big deal. Big returning monster. Oh, shit. But we don't know. They didn't know that at the time, but they are hardly involved in part one, which speaks volumes. And part one kind of feels like a prototype to Aliens almost.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's sort of like reaching back to the original Alien, which is a good movie. I assume you two have seen it, or
yeah, I've seen the first two Aliens. We don't talk about the third one, and I've seen Resurrection.
There was a third one.
Unfortunately,
I don't mind the third one as bad.
I have no idea what you're talking
it
about.
even starred Paul McGann.
Yeah, this movie you're not.
No, that can't be real. I mean, it's like saying that there's a fourth Indiana Jones movie.
Okay. I'm mainly thinking of the scene in Alien with the ventilation shaft and tracking the alien, trying to find it.
Yeah.
Which, that's basically what part one is. It's spooky.
Yeah.
caves
Also, I'm aware this is not an
tracking.
Aliens podcast. This is a Doctor Who podcast, but I may never get a chance to mention this again. The best part of Alien Resurrection is the absolutely perfect basketball shot that Sigourney Weaver nails first time.
I mean, I thought you were going to say the scene where Ron Perlman gets scared by a spider and shoots it.
No, and then Ron Perlman nearly ruins the tape by celebrating.
I thought you were going to say the part where we don't have to watch it, so that's a very good viewpoints.
Yeah.
I mean, Resurrection is better than 3. It just is.
Resurrection is a so bad it's good movie, and so in that sense, it's better.
Well, I partially enjoyed Resurrection. I wanted 3 to just end, so there you go.
Well, let's put it this way: Resurrection has less rapey moments than 3 does.
True.
Like I said, I actually enjoyed parts of Resurrection compared to 3.
Have you tried watching the director's assembly cut, whatever the hell it's called?
No, thank you.
No, thank you. No interest. Well, that's fine. That's fine. I don't know. Maybe you would have thought it'd be better.
Okay. Anyway, back to Doctor Who then.
It's going to be funny in a minute when I bring up something.
Yeah, but this is just Aliens. This part 1 is just Aliens.
Yeah.
Which is funny because this is like 4 years before Aliens.
Yeah.
So oddly prescient, but anyway.
Well, to be fair, that's a pretty common trope as people go into some place and they don't all come out.
And to reference another future sci-fi movie, we got a bunch of extras around looking like soldiers from Starship Troopers.
Yep.
I have a sneaky suspicion most of them won't make it to the end credits.
So the setup for part 1 is we got these doofy space marines. They're out in like the countryside or whatever, and they're going down into these caves that archaeologists and paleontologists were down in looking for fossils and stuff, and a bunch of them mysteriously disappeared, and there's only one survivor. What? Hang on. I don't think I even wrote down her name.
Professor Kyle.
Professor Ringway.
Professor
No, not
Kyle,
Ringway.
yeah.
Professor
No,
Kyle.
Ringway's another character. Professor Kyle.
Ringway's the Yeah, Ringway's another guy. I just saw the first name in my notes. I'm like, oh, it's Ringway.
She's a geologist called Professor Kyle, and the other major character you need to know about is Lieutenant Scott.
I will say, Lieutenant Scott is at least very capable at his job. You know, he doesn't take too many risks.
Apart from one thing about Scott, I quite like him as a character. But I can't talk about the one thing until we get to part 2.
That's your basic setup for part 1. These Space Marines are going to explore the caves with Professor Kyle to find survivors. And they've got this big scanner, and since it's 1982, it's like the size of a goddamn refrigerator.
Yeah.
And it can scan, but here's the kicker. It can only detect the heartbeats of mammalian life form.
Oh, no.
So, for instance, if you have, say, a pair of killer androids running around, the scanner's not really going to pick them up. It flares up, and it's like, oh, that's weird. That's a weird technical glitch. And then the other people's like bio life sign dots dip and vanish, and it's like, oh no, what's going on down there? Come in.
It does work as a pretty suspenseful moment when you have no idea what's going on. So,
I mean,
when later on they bring in the monsters, it's like, oh man, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now.
I'd say that. Well, we're gonna get to the Cyberman part of this. But to jump ahead, they completely changed scene and location. But like, if the whole story was somehow spooky cave bullshit, I don't know. I might have liked it a lot.
I don't know. You could stretch that to 4 parts, though.
4 parts, yeah. Maybe you should do it as a 2-fer.
Maybe.
If you had a better linker into your other half. As it stands, it's an episode and a half in the caves, and then 2 episodes of the main Cyberman plot. But anyway, I really like the atmosphere here in this stuff. I want to talk about the Space Marine stuff before I talk about the Doctor and Company.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's one funny thing that hit me, is that, okay, these androids are roaming around the caves, they're picking off the soldiers, and these soldiers get fucking melted. Like, you see their uniforms, and it's just a pile of goop. It's like, Jesus.
It's pretty horrifying.
It's horrific, yeah.
And one of the soldiers is their name is Snyder. So could you say that with the dissolution and melting of this character, that Earthshock has invented the Snyder Cut?
Boo!
There's the door. See your way through at any time, please.
Boo!
That goddamn rim shot.
I am not giving you a rim
No,
shot.
that doesn't deserve the rim
You
shot.
do not deserve it. No. Bad Frez.
That only deserves scorn.
Out this Friday.
Boo!
Take that, Martin Scorsese. Now comic book movies are good again.
Is that genuinely coming out this Friday?
Yes, the Snyder Cut.
Well, thank you. I didn't have to stay on Twitter for that entire weekend. Thank you.
Good idea. Good idea.
Because the fans of that are going to be insufferable.
What do you mean, going to be?
I mean, particularly insufferable on that day, anyway.
Hey, everybody out there who's thinking, wow, the Snyder Cut's going to be different. Hey, guess what? No, it's not. It's still going to be bullshit. Just saying.
Kat.
That's your spoiler.
It's going to be different.
Bullshit.
It's going to be twice as much bullshit.
Yeah.
Because it's 4 fucking hours long.
We live in a society.
Look.
Okay, hey, Rain, you can cut this bit if you don't want to, like, spoil the movie. I don't know. You want to know something funny?
What?
We live in a society isn't even in the final cut.
I know.
He just did it for the meme.
I don't consider that a spoiler, so I'm keeping that in.
Okay. Snyder just did that for the meme.
Of course he did.
Everybody knows that the DC Universe movies that are the live-action ones that have been coming out specifically, so don't you at me, fanboys, are all just a poor imitation of the recent Avengers movies. Everybody knows that.
And the ratio drops off a cliff. Thanks, Kat.
Batman Forever is not that bad, actually. And the ratio falls off a cliff.
No, I would agree with you on that.
Actually, funny story. We were spring cleaning this weekend, and my brother actually found his copy of Batman and Robin.
Did you watch it?
Well, not yet, but I was planning to.
Speaking of so bad, it's good. Batman and Robin.
I think we jumped off a bit of a tangent here. So,
Me trying to make sure we don't talk about Earthshock anymore? No.
Yeah, I basically like. There's not much to say about Part 1 Earthshock. It is good, atmospheric tension.
Yeah, there isn't much to say, but it is the best. It is the best part of the 4.
Yeah, it sort of defies summary. Like if you just go, and then this one goes down the corridor and gets shot, and the guy up top is like, "Come in, what's happening?"
I think it really sets the atmosphere and the scene really well.
It's good.
And then spends the next 3 episodes ruining it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, breaking up this atmosphere is the B plot of TARDIS team stuff.
Yeah.
So we have our boy Adric, the mathematics genius from the parallel universe of E-Space, whom we saw in Warriors Gate. Also available on Doctor Who Reviews.
It is, however, not talked about in the excellent book Back to the 11th Hour, which you
No,
should
it's
totally
not.
check out.
Oh, wait, who wrote that book?
Well, I don't know. What is her name? It's Frez, do you know her name?
Tyr, I think.
Yeah, I think it's something like Krista Mattia.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
It's almost like we should be promoting her more and more and more. And if you look on our Twitter page at Reviews Doctor, then you'll absolutely see a reference to her in every single pinned tweet we will ever upload.
Yeah, that's the rule now.
Yes.
Excellent.
Also, congratulations, Krista, you're a meme.
Yes. You're an official pinned tweet.
As her hero would say, I'm a pinned tweet now. Pinned tweets are cool.
Cool, yeah. But we do break up this atmospheric scene in the caves for teenage angst.
Adric is moping about the TARDIS.
Oh.
And it's that room from Terminus that sparked this entire decision.
Yeah.
The room where it was like, why did you leave all this stuff? Well, I will find out. But, you know. Anyway, the point of this scene is that the Doctor and Adric are talking, and Adric's basically moping and griping and venting. I make it sound more bitchy than it is, but he's tired of getting made fun of all the time. People don't take him seriously.
And that's totally not slamming on the fans at the time.
Huh. People really don't like it. I've said it in Warriors Gate, but Adric is considered to be, I don't know if you know the analogy, I don't know if you've seen much of the show, the Wesley Crusher of...
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I was going to say the Scrappy,
However,
but yes.
I think that is wrong because I fully enjoyed Adric in this serial.
Well, I know one part you didn't enjoy, but...
Well, yes, there was that one part I didn't enjoy. But,
I would say he's more the Scrappy, but yeah.
Let me say that he is not above being made fun of in certain parts, so I'm going to admit this.
There are way worse Adric stories, like... But... Okay, we're... Oh, God. Oh.
I thought the SpongeBob memes were done last time.
It begins.
The SpongeBob memes are never done.
Never.
It starts.
We're putting this in. Okay.
All of the episodes of SpongeBob, it's almost like The Simpsons now. You can say SpongeBob did it. Because there's a meme for every occasion.
I've just realised that's the squirrel underneath that cowboy hat.
Yes.
I forget her name, but yeah.
This is the basic B plot of part 1. Adric has decided he wants to go home. Home, may I remind you, is a parallel universe that the Doctor and Romana entered on a complete random fluke. So it's not just something that you can get a taxi cab to.
He just mentioned Romana at some point, I think. Romana gets name
I'm
dropped.
fucking with random wormhole these things. Yeah, Adric does mention it's like I can meet up with Romana and she can get me.
Yeah. Just a small message on the other
And
side of a
Dr.
wall
Fizz
that he
like,
can't
I ain't
get
fucking
through.
with slavers and lion people again for your.
Yeah. It's not the best of plans by Adric, but as you'll find out later, he didn't actually think it all the way through. But he is homesick.
So they're both. Yeah.
He wants to return to E-Space. The Doctor says, we cannot return to E-Space. It would destroy the TARDIS, or words to that effect. Adric wants to try anyway.
Adric's a teenager. They're always making decisions that are bad. So
he's definitely having a strop in this first part. He actually starts to do the calculations himself because that's Adric's whole thing, mathematical genius.
They bicker for a bit.
Yeah, and the bickering is really important later on.
Is happening because he's pissed off, and Adric goes off, and Tegan and Nissa are left with the job of each calming down these raging male egos.
So at this point, I want to ask a question: is this a very good representation of how Adric was throughout the series that he was in?
I don't really remember because
I'm thinking back to the ones I've seen with him in it. Castrovalva, he doesn't do a right lot.
Castrovalva's For the Doomsday is a bad Adric story.
Yeah, Logopolis.
Logopolis has a lot going on. He's not really like this.
Yeah.
I don't actually know if he's like this for most of it.
I think he's better in Warrior's Gate.
Yeah. Okay. I'm thinking more in terms of when Tegan and Nissa are around because
do you know what this whole fight scene and him and the Doctor being at odds reminded me of?
What's that?
A father and son.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Well, actually, Matthew is it Waterhouse?
Waterhouse.
Yeah, Matthew Waterhouse. When he talks about that scene, he says he likens it to a father having an argument with his son, and the Doctor is at odds with Adric because he sees a younger version of himself in him.
Aww.
Which, when you think about it, is a bit what a father and son dynamic is all about.
See, I'm kind of wondering now if that's the whole reason why so many fans don't like Adric, because as far as I've seen, I haven't seen anything annoying about him. He's a teenager. That I understand.
Watch For the Doomsday and you might change your opinion.
Let's not watch For the Doomsday, actually, because For the Doomsday is quite bad.
I didn't suggest that we do. I'm just saying if you did, you might change your opinion.
Yeah, but I can't really use that.
Cat's Revenge. Next time on Doctor Who, For the Doomsday. Fuck you, Frez.
Thank God it's my choice next.
But either way, I'm just wondering if one of the whole reasons that people don't like this is because they do have a very father and son relationship.
Yeah,
and
maybe.
People, I mean, I know there are people who didn't like the fact that Rose was around because they didn't think that the Doctor needed a love interest.
People pushing their own insecurities onto a TV episode never happened.
So I'm just wondering if that's like part of the reason why so many people don't like Adric. It's just because
it's an interesting theory. I think it could be something to do with that. Fortunately, Tegan and Nissa proved to be the voices of reason here, and they calm the argument down somewhat.
I like this, We're talking about Mr. Kat said you didn't want to say his name, so Gris Gribnall here. We got a 3-person TARDIS team. And would you look at that? The Doctor and one person are having an argument, and the other 2 companions each go and have a heart-to-heart about that with them. It's using the 3 companions.
It's almost like that's completely possible, and you don't have to ignore one person.
I'm just smiling because later on I'm going to argue they do exactly that in later parts, but.
Oh yeah. I was about to say, yeah, it's a rare moment that unfortunately the story doesn't keep up.
But the argument is eventually diffused.
Get what we want.
Don't you dare reference.
Nice.
Don't you dare reference that, given who else referenced that song. Damn it.
Wait, what?
What?
You can't always get what you want.
I wasn't referencing anything. I was just saying you can't always get.
Oh,
what
I
you
thought
want,
you were
but
referring
okay.
to the song. Sorry. In that case, ignore me. Oh, you are doing already. Good.
Rather unfortunately, though, the Doctor and Tegan waltzing out of the TARDIS into this cave to have a little chat. Mr. Scanner guy up top is like, "What in the fuck? There's a double exposure on our scanner. What does that mean? It means that one of the guys down there is two hearts."
Yep. And Lieutenant Scott thinks they are responsible for all the murders that are happening.
Of course. Then we get a little scene that will play to the later in the story, where the Doctor finds fossils in the wall, and they have a little talk about it with Nissa. It's feels almost like first season. You remember when Doctor Who was supposed to be educational, so you had like cavemen and Aztecs?
Yeah.
It kind of feels like that, where it's like explaining about the dinosaurs and shit. Except the show has far moved beyond somewhat educational adventure serial to nostalgic adventure serial with the monsters you remember when you were 8. So it's very strange, but the upshot of this is that the Doctor mentions what killed the dinosaurs. It was supposed to be a meteor, as Tegan says, but he says, "Oh, nobody really knows. I always meant to go back in time and check it out and see what happened."
This, however, will not become important later, so please forget it. It is not in any way having to do with any guns or Chekhovs or anything like that.
Yes, Mr. Chekhov, your gun is safe on the map.
If you want to talk about Chekhov's gun, there's an even bigger Chekhov's gun later on, but yes. But anyway, while this is going on, one of the soldiers from up top has come down to the cave, and they're off. That one's Schneider. This systemic slaughter is carrying on one by one at a time.
Yeah.
And then the Doctor, who's now been joined by Nissa at this point, and Tegan, are accosted by Lieutenant Scott. And I really like this. Lieutenant Scott he's not having any of this. He just manhandles the Doctor immediately.
Dave is just doing his usual pleasant, "Hello, how do you do?"
Just grabs him and throws him against the wall, yeah. But in fairness, he believes he's killed his squad members, so he's got every right to be angry.
Yeah, like I said, Lieutenant Scott is actually very competent in this. He's not taking any chances. He heard that there was someone down here who's an alien, so it's like, okay then.
It is nice to see a superior officer character in Doctor Who that actually seems to know what the hell he's doing. To a point.
Yeah. Plus, later on, when it's proved that the Doctor is not involved in what's going on, he backs down and he starts working with him, rather than having this whole long protrusive scene of, well, can I trust him? Maybe I can trust him, but I can't trust him.
Like the writer's like, "Wait a minute, I'm the script editor. I'm also the script editor. I don't need to eat. I can just make this guy trust this guy immediately. I don't need to stretch this shit out."
Anyway,
I am financially secure in my position. So
we get our first big build up to the first big cliffhanger here. So by now, the mysterious attackers, who we said they were androids, but this is not actually revealed until this moment here, they show up where the Doctor and company are. They start attacking. They shoot a couple more soldiers. They're melted to goo.
So we have a big shootout, which is Earthshock likes big shootout.
I think the shootouts handled quite well, though. And I also like the fact that the Doctor uses the shootout to prove his innocence, because he says, Scott says, are these to do with you? He says, no, and if you want proof, they'll kill me just as soon as they'll kill you.
Which, helpful way to maintain innocence. And then our cliffhanger comes. One of the androids focuses on the Doctor, and you get the POV shot of android vision with like red tint. As it zooms in on Peter Davison, it cuts back, and there's these things, which, well, you probably recognize them as Cybermen. They got the handle. It's a redesign. So
yeah,
it's not like a complete sort of, what the fuck is this? Like, you probably have enough cultural osmosis of Doctor Who to know that's a Cyberman.
So this is fairly significant, because this was the first time that the Cybermen had reappeared since, I want to say, the 60s.
No. They had one. Tom Baker's first season has one Cyberman story.
Oh, yes, of course it does, because the reference later on. Yeah, okay, but it was the... Again, I might get this wrong, but I think it was the 15th anniversary of their first appearance.
That sounds roughly right. Yeah.
Or more thereabouts. So to celebrate that, they have a big redesign of the Cybermen, but they go further than that, because the length they went to conceal that this was actually a Cybermen story is actually quite impressive.
Yeah, you're going to bring up this.
Yeah, there was no pre-episode material at all that suggested the Cybermen were in this story. The two characters that we see throughout the Cyber Lieutenant or Lieutenant and the Cyber Leader, they're just credited as Leader and Lieutenant in the Radio Times to preserve the surprise. Even more so, the Radio Times contacted the team and said, "We'd like to do a big page spread about these new design of the Cybermen," and they said no. We don't want to reveal these guys until the time is right. So you think about now when secrets leak out of the studio like confetti. This is the opposite. They lock down everything. I think they even stop people. I think they even stopped like the production gallery, like the visual gallery that people could watch the episode on. They stopped that so it didn't get revealed ahead of time.
I guess it's a big surprise. I mean, we're talking about a story that was transmitted before any of us were alive, so who knows how effective.
From what I've read, it was a big surprise and a welcome one.
Okay, we'll give them the benefit. Okay,
it sounds like BBC America could really learn from this.
Yeah, and BBC UK as well, because let me be brave. God damn it.
You know what? Just the BBC in general could really learn from this.
Kids, 10 minutes before the episode airs in America, let's tweet about Dan.
Yeah.
Seriously.
By the way, I just love that.
Or how about the fact that whenever I'm watching on BBC America, I'll be in a commercial break, and then the episode will come up 5 minutes further into the episode, and then it starts up again, and then I have to see that exact same scene over again.
Hey, how about revealing that John Sims coming back to the show 10 weeks before he comes back to the show?
So we'll give Earthshock the benefit of the doubt here. We're gonna lay into Earthshock later, but
before we do that, can I just talk about these androids?
The what?
And how I actually really like their simple design?
Oh, the design is neat. You know what I like about the design?
It was reused for the Raston Warrior robot.
Was it really?
Yeah. It was painted silver and made into the Raston Warrior robot in the Five Doctors.
So we're talking about the androids, right?
Yeah, the black, smooth black humanoids of the androids.
The putties from Power Rangers?
Yeah, kinda. But I do like their simple design. I like the fact that they melt people. That's horrific.
It's like a level of violence.
The problem is, these androids are the servants, they're the minions of the Cybermen. And in some respects, they're actually better than the Cybermen in this story.
Yeah. So, do we want to talk about the Cyberman design for a second here?
Well, I like it. I really like the 80s design of the Cybermen.
I like it too. I mean, I especially kind of like the way that they've got a clear mouthpiece. So you could still see their lips moving because, the idea of the Cybermen is they are half organic and half cyber.
Oh, I thought that was a production goof. I thought you weren't supposed to see his mouth moving.
I think that's intentional.
Yeah, because they intentionally painted the mouth.
The mouth is painted silver, but it's only the lead. It's not the other Cyberman. It's just the Cyber Leader that you can see his mouth moving. So that's a bit strange, but.
I guess
that helps differentiate him between all the others.
Well, the black handles do that as well.
But I like that because it gives that body horror. Like, this was once a dude, and he's turned himself into a fucking emotionless robot. But you can still see his, lips moving. Like, it's probably half a goddamn skull, a lower jaw down there just moving.
I do like the
It's
Cybermen
kind of like
designs.
I'm going to go back to Ascension of the Cybermen and everything there, but part of the reason that the lone Cyberman was so horrifying was that you could see his face. And
Yeah.
that's something that had never been done before, because before you could kind of blank it out and say, oh, it's the Cybermen, and you kind of not really forgot what they were, but you could push aside what they were and sort of forget the fridge, like a fridge horror there.
Yeah.
When it
yeah,
came to the lone Cyberman, you were confronted with it.
Yeah, not to dunk harder on
And-
Ascension, but I don't have to dunk a bit harder on Ascension. The Lone Cyberman was such a good design, and such a good concept
It
for a
was.
Cyberman character, and then they ruined it.
The lone Cyberman was fantastic. A guy who, according to him, so it may be a lie, but he willingly became a Cyberman and willingly killed his own family.
That bit in Villa is so chilling.
It's like, oh my gosh, that is so good, and you wasted him.
That is a wonderful bit of characterization. In one sentence, you know all about what the Lone Cyberman is all about, and then the next 2 episodes they ruin it.
You wasted him.
Yeah.
So, and much like an Earthshock, 80s Cybermen, great design, and also props to David Banks, who voices the Cyber Leader. I just fucking love that voice.
Oh, he gives a great performance.
It is a pretty good voice.
He's probably one of the best performances in this. Which is why it hurts what I'm about to say when we get to the Cybermen in general later on in the episodes.
Yeah.
I want to like the Cybermen. They're a good design. They're a good concept. But then...
It's very easy to like the Cybermen. Unfortunately, it's also very easy to fuck up the Cybermen.
People can't write them right.
Yeah.
One of those people being... Well, yeah.
Chris Gibnall.
One of those... I was going to say Eric Sayward, the writer of this.
Chris Is this going to become a thing, Chris Grimble? I think it is, isn't it? God.
Yeah.
Then again, Eric Sayward did add body horror in the Colin Baker Cyberman, right?
Oh, yeah.
He at least knows what's up in some regard.
I've actually seen that one,
That story is a mess for... a mess for other reasons.
I'm honestly right now trying to think of a good Cyberman story that I actually like, and Nightmare in Silver comes up just because of Mr. Clever. But that's only because of
Dark
Mr.
Water,
Clever.
Death in Heaven?
Awful.
Rise of the Cybermen and the
Dark
Age of
Water,
Steel.
Death in Heaven. I'm really bad with titles. Is that the one with Rose where they go into the alternate universe?
That's the one, yeah. Their debut in Modern Who.
That one's also really good.
Yeah. It's kind of sad, isn't it, that their first appearance... Their first modern appearance is also their best modern appearance.
Notice how there's a pattern there of not Chris Chibnall.
Yeah. So, should we get into part 2? Just shotgun through?
Yeah, let's do that, because I've got a lot of notes from this point on.
Alright, take it away.
Okay, so we get the conclusion to the firefight. Where the Doctor gets the troopers to destroy the androids with concentrated firepower. Or rather, they damage one, but they don't destroy it outright. And then, and this is something I love that Doctor does, because it's so Doctor-like, androids run on logic. So the Doctor uses that logic against the androids. He says, right, they're clearly protecting that hatch. So when I give the signal, I want you to all turn your fire on that hatch. And they do it, and it makes the androids conflicted about what they should do, because their program is to self-preservation. They're going to preserve themselves, but they're going to protect whatever's in the hatch. So they're caught in two minds, and they blow up. The troopers are able to blow them up in their moment of indecisiveness.
Really, the Doctor should have taken the cue from the Captain Kirk School of Computer Repair and just yelled, "This statement is false!"
That would have worked. Also, I've
at one point, Adric tackles one of them.
Yeah, I've got written here, Adric nearly ruins everything.
I make a joke, but Rainiac, have you ever seen the John Pertwee story, The Green Death?
Is that the one where Joe leaves?
Yes.
Yes.
John Pertwee tries this statement is false thing on the computer in that story, and it doesn't work. I just realized that.
Speaking of John Pertwee, that video that you showed me of John Pertwee doing videos on Akira to wrestling commentary is hilarious.
Spoilers, spoilers for Portal Part 2, but that's all I can think of now.
Oh God!
I'm not going to say what it is, but if you've ever played Portal 2, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So the troopers that have survived this encounter, all three of them, and Lieutenant Scott, are victorious. And now it's time to find out what's inside the hatch. What were they protecting?
Forgot the best fucking moment with the second android as they were trying their Operation Logic Bomb thing. Adric with a rock!
Oh, yeah. As I say, Adric nearly ruins everything because he nearly gets shot. But he
wanders out of the TARDIS after doing his math, and he's like, where'd everybody go? And he stumbles into this android standoff and gets a rock.
And the Doctor is actually quite impressed by this.
So, the hatch then. The Doctor goes to open it up, and it's a bomb.
It's a bomb!
And you disarm the bomb by opening the hatch.
There's this flashing light effect when they open the hatch, which make me think the damn thing had gone off.
Yeah.
All right, well, here's your bomb defusal manual. We're going to do the wires first, then we're going to start doing the number codes, okay? Only a few people are going to get that joke.
I still need to play that on stream one day. Keep talking or everyone explodes.
I played that with Blazy in the same room, and it was a fucking nightmare.
Fun fact, I actually have a VR headset, so I could play that VR while you guys talk to me.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Well, that's a date.
Just saying.
That's a stream idea. That's a stream idea for the future.
I mean, I can't stream anything that's like not just us podcasting because I've got like the processing power of a potato at the moment. But
so for how are you holding up? Because I'm a potato. I mean, you brought it up earlier, Kat.
I am never adverse to Portal 2 references. It is such a good game.
So, the episode briefly becomes Bomb Defusal Mission, the serial.
I do like how they treat this like a surgical operation. The Doctor will speak out a name of a tool, and then Adric will hand in the tool whilst repeating the name of the tool.
So they go to the TARDIS and do a thing to jam the signal coming from space or whatever, beaming down to arm the bomb. And that buys them enough time to get in there and, do bomb defusal mission. Hand me the spanner, hand me the retro ratchet or whatever the fuck you're saying.
I was so disappointed at this point because Lieutenant Scott almost gets a bigger on the inside moment.
Oh.
He sees the TARDIS, he goes to say something, and he doesn't say anything. Maybe he was too short to speak. Maybe that's what the actor was going for there. And it sort of works.
Maybe.
I mean, it is mostly implied, but not directly said, that the bomb is big enough to apparently blow up the entire world. So
yeah,
I think that is a bit more pressing than a box that's bigger on the inside.
Mind you, bigger on the inside reveals peaked with the Pope. It peaked with the Pope in the period at the end of the world. You can't do a better bigger on the inside reveal than that.
I never thought I would
you.
hear that about Doctor Who. It peaked with the Pope.
Because he says it in Latin. It's like... It's so good.
The best, it's bigger on the inside moment will forever be the Doctor in The Husbands of Riverside.
Actually, yeah. That is better. Yeah. The Pope one is funny, but that's brilliant.
So good.
The laws of time have exploded to me.
How in the world River did not immediately suss out the fact that this dramatic idiot was the Doctor?
I love the way his excitement is when he says to Nardole, "It's my turn."
Anyway, long story short, bomb defusal mission, signals breaking through. Holy shit, we gotta hurry and cut the green wire. Cut the green wire, cut the red wire, blah, 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 blah. they disarm the bomb just in time. So
Yay.
we're all.
Yeah.
But the Doctor and Adric are having a chat, and it's like, why would they put a bomb in these caves specifically? And who put it there? What's going on there?
And why would the androids guarding it?
Well, there's something going on here. So the Doctor wants to take the TARDIS to the source of the signal and investigate what the fuck just happened.
Actually,
Meanwhile, we've been
before we
intercutting
move
all
on-
of this with the
before we move
Cybermen
on.
at their... What? Sorry?
Something that kind of confused me about this is that the androids were there specifically to guard the hatch, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
But when the Doctor opened the hatch, that set off the bomb to start, going to explode, right?
Also, yes.
So, my question then is, why would they have the androids guarding it when all they would need to do is have some dumb idiot human go and open it up?
Because I think the implication here is the Cybermen were waiting for the right time to deploy the bomb.
I think it's that. It's not really explained too well, but
Yeah, that's not
I
really
think
explained well.
I think it has to be a matter of timing, considering their motivation for their scheme that they give in the later parts.
But
It has to be
you've referenced the right thing here. You've said that while the Doctor is trying to stop the bomb, we keep cutting back to the Cybermen reacting to what's happening. We also get the first use of a recurring word you'll hear from the Cyber leader. Excellent.
I saw the best.
Actually,
I tried to find it.
No. You know what? I can actually disprove what you're saying, Frez. It does happen later on, but there is a time where their next big idea, which I won't say just yet, but it starts going through time, and it could go to the Earth at an earlier time. And so the cyber leader's like, excellent, the Earth will still be destroyed, it'll just be a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's less. Oh, they don't really care, and more. And more them shrug. They're trying to be logical with their scheme, but when this happenstance happens, they're just like, oh, well, fuck it.
I
Roll
don't know,
with it.
it still just seems bullshit to me. It's like, why put it in
I
at
get you,
all?
I get you.
It is kinda, but I do love the little cutaways to the Cybermen just observing it, and then they show the archive footage of the last times they encountered them.
I want to talk about that in a second, but I just want to talk about excellent. There's a YouTube video. I wish I could find it. I'll have to go through my YouTube favorites, but it's a scene from Earthshock, and it ends with the cyber leader saying excellent. But what the video does, all it does is it adds in a Bill and Ted guitar riff,
Yes!
and he says,
Yes!
excellent.
I was hoping for that. I
Okay.
was thinking, if they replaced that with Bill and Ted's, that would be fantastic.
I can't do David Banks' pronunciation of excellent justice, but yeah, he uses this word a lot.
Also, someone remind me, I need to get that guitar riff for our soundboard.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
We should have
I'll
read you
look
before
for the
that we
video.
did this, because that would have been perfect, but...
Anyway, so the Cybermen are monitoring shit on Earth in the caves, and then they happen to see the TARDIS, and the cyber leader flips his shit. It's like, what? Well, he doesn't say it like that.
I know that object.
What in the fuck? That is a TARDIS.
And then they watch a clip show.
So
I
while
love this
the
clip show,
Doctor
though. I
and
really like
Co,
this.
While the Doctor and Co, including Lieutenant Scott and Kyle, head off to find the source of the signal, we get the helpful clip show where the cyber leader explains all the times they've encountered the Doctor in the past.
Yeah, and we get a little clip of each Doctor encountering them. We get the "Have you no emotions, sir" speech from the 10th planet with the first Doctor.
And then we get the second Doctor, and they mention in this form he can find us to our ice tombs on Telos, which is a tomb reference.
Yeah.
But tomb didn't exist in 1982, so the clip they use is from another Cyberman story, The Wheel in Space.
Yeah, I caught that.
Yeah.
I was like, hang on a minute, I don't remember this happening in the Tomb of the Cybermen.
Yeah.
And then we get a Tom
Tombs
Baker
exist.
clip as well.
From Revenge of the Cybermen.
Which, by the
Pathetic
way,
bunch of
they've
teenagers.
just released, or they're about to release, the original script of that Return of the Cybermen on Big Finish. It's a lost story.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Nice.
I wonder what's different.
I think the
But-
setting, I think some of the different scenes.
Very like nostalgia, wild.
Yeah. But I like it, because, yes, okay, it is taking him a bit of time to sort of pad the episode, but it's entertaining people while it's doing it, so...
It's not the first time they've done like flashback stuff to other stories. I remember Tom Baker's last, Legopolis. He has a little flashback to all his the enemies he's fought and all his companions.
Yeah.
So, but they're really brief snippets. But you know, this is the first
I
time
do like it, though,
It is-
because it doesn't assume that people just have started the show in 1963. It accommodates for people that have just come into it as well.
If only the show kept up this continuity for everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's nice. It's also just, you know, a little treat to the fans because, you know, it's 1982. The show is 19 years old, so a little nostalgia for y'all who grew up. Again, when you were 8 and you watched these stories and were like, "Oh, that's scary."
Yeah.
And now here you are, like years later, like, "Oh shit, I remember that."
And then we get two little scenes that are of note here. So firstly, you've mentioned it already, but Scott and Kyle basically invite themselves on board the TARDIS.
Mm-hmm.
The Doctor says, you know, we're going to the source of this explosion. He says, well, we're responsible too. The Earth is in danger. We're coming with you. He said, all right. And also the troopers that survived the attack. All 3 of them.
Uh-huh.
I think these poor sods are named at some point, but I can't remember what they are. They're certainly not credited at the end of the each episode. But
Their names are Redshirt 2, Redshirt 3, 2 weeks to retirement, and 2 weeks to retirement junior.
Oh,
also, the poor guy, the poor guy who was up
retirement.
top when the massacre in the mine was taking place, he's not amongst the soldiers, so I guess he's just stranded.
Oh well.
I guess Walters is just stuck there for all eternity now. Like, God, when are they coming back? It's been forever.
Well, actually, all the life signs would disappear because the TARDIS wasn't tracking, so we'd just be like,
Oh,
my
God, no, he thinks they're all dead?
So he's just like reporting back to mission control. Oh, fuck.
Oh my
my
gosh,
God.
I have even more fridge logic for afterwards, too.
Yeah.
I never thought of that. And then we get a really nice scene between Andric and the Doctor, which is like a companion piece to the beginning.
This is sweet. I like this.
Yeah, so the Doctor apologises to Andric. Andric apologises to the Doctor in kind. And the Doctor says, you know, you were really brave back there. If you want to, I can try and go back to E-Space. Says, oh, I didn't want to go anyway. What?
I just wanted to be taken seriously.
He was making a point.
Teenager.
And this is why people don't like Andric.
Oh, done.
That's bullshit. This is how they don't like Adric just because that they're being called out for being a little shit.
I'm pulling your leg, Kat. I'm pulling your leg. This is fine. This is actually a rather sweet little scene.
I'm not pulling your leg. I'm being dead serious.
It's a sweet little scene.
It is.
Yeah.
So
Maybe it's just because of the fact that I've dealt with 2 teenage boys and I know all the bullshit that they do.
Unfortunately, as soon as that scene is over, we change setting, and this is where things go south for me in a big way.
yeah, so the rest of the
Yeah.
story is set on a space freighter that is dealing with an interstellar conference or something to that effect.
I hate
The
this.
Cybermen are plotting things on it.
Yeah, the signal for the androids came from the space freighter, but can I just say, I hate the damn captain.
Oh, the captain.
Oh,
Okay, so for those of you who might not know, I had
What?
a really, really terrible grandmother who lied to me. She tried to turn me against my mother, so on and so forth. The captain looks exactly like her.
oh God.
And I was just watching this woman like, oh my gosh, why? Why?
I'm not trying to diss your grandmother, but there is
Oh
nothing.
no, diss her. She was a terrible woman.
There are no redeeming features whatsoever about this freighter captain.
Sounds like
Thatcher
my
here?
grandmother.
I'm sorry, what?
What, you don't like Captain Thatcher here?
Captain Thatch. Oh God.
Oh, jeez.
Of course, later Lenny Henry would find the Cybermen and this captain have combined to the ultimate life form, Thatchos.
Oh no. Thatchos and Denos. You will be privatized. Oh my God, what a good parody.
Don't you mean liquidated? It's the same thing.
Oh, jeez.
I was gonna say that.
Wait, Lenny Henry beat Happiness Patrol to the punch.
Now I gotta go watch Mexican Dancing Thanos for a while just to get that out of my head.
Wait, watch what?
You don't remember the Mexican Dancing Thanos?
Oh no!
No, I didn't. I just didn't hear what you said.
I remember that. I remember when that nearly completely took over a podcast once because I accidentally played it live on while we were recording. So yeah, that was great.
So you don't like Captain? I don't even remember her name.
Is it Briggs?
Hard ass.
Captain Hardass.
Briggs.
It is Briggs. Yeah.
Thatcher.
She's just concerned about her cargo. And she's got two crew members, Berger and Ringway. And Ringway is sort of like really cynical, really like we're all going to die, doom and gloom. Berger is more sort of practical and stoic. She's okay, but Briggs is awful. And this is not to have a go at Beryl Reid, because actually Beryl Reid is actually quite liked on this story.
You know who Ringway reminds me of?
Squidward?
Apologies if I get his name wrong, but I think it's Marvin from Hitchhiker's Guide.
Yeah.
Oh God.
The robot.
I'm not saying this just to get a pop out of you, but he genuinely reminds me of Squidward.
I thought you might like to know I'm terribly depressed right now.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what he reminded me of.
Yeah, Ringway's not fit to lace Marvin's bootstraps up, but yeah.
No, but
anyway,
it's still funny.
I'm just skipping ahead a little here to get to the end of part 2, but the Cybermen have a collaborator, and their plan is to frame the Doctor who's landed on this freighter. And here's the thing that, well, Eric Saber kind of, I don't want to say, I'm trying to figure out how to word this. How did I word this? Hang on, I gotta go back to my DMs because I worded this to
you do that
in a better way. What? Hang on.
But basically, the alarm sounds as soon as the TARDIS and everyone else disembarks. In fact, it's just the Doctor and Andrew.
Right, I got it. Okay. So there's these two guards in the cargo hold, and they end up dead at the end of part 2. And the snark I said to Krista was, if Earthshock was a Chiblin story, the two random freighter guards who get killed at the end of part 2 would be talking about their kids/husbands.
Oh God!
Yeah,
Tell me I'm
that sounds
wrong.
about right.
Yeah, these two crew members again. I think they're Vance and Carson, but their names are not important because they don't last very long. Can we talk about how the cliffhanger of part 2 is basically the cliffhanger of part 1 again, in a slightly different context?
Not really. It's
well, yeah, it is. It is. The Doctor finds dead bodies. Is blamed for murdering them.
Well, that's not how the cliffhanger.
All right, the last few minutes then, if you're going to be pedantic, but
the last few minutes, yes.
It's the exact same playing out again.
Yeah, the Doctor and Adric are exploring. The Doctor has this great line where there's nobody around, and he's like, "I wish to announce my presence."
Yeah.
So hey, Frez, I have a question for you.
Go on.
About when did they stop giving titles to each individual episode of the serial?
That would be back in the late 60s, near the end of William Hartnell.
Okay, because I have a very good second title for this specific episode, and that's Walking Simulator.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty much all they do in the second half of this episode is just walk around. And it's boring.
It also sets up one of the things I really dislike about this episode, which is Nissa the mother hen.
Oh, God, yeah. But, so, the end of part 2, the Doctor and Andrew are exploring, they find the bodies of these random freighter guards. Ringway comes up to them with his gun, And they turn around and they see him, and he's like, "On this ship, we execute murder."
It's not a bad line to end off on. I should point out that the androids didn't kill these victims because their bodies aren't melted into goo.
It's not, no. So it was Cybermen.
So something else, the Cybermen, exactly killed them. Another couple of brief points.
He should have been Ringway himself. He was literally right there.
Yeah.
I think he does. I think the Doctor does mention at the start of Part 3 that they were like throttled with extreme strength. So I'm going to call Cybermen in this one.
You are absolutely right. It's not revealed. 3, yeah. It's also not revealed. It's not revealed that they were killed by the Cybermen, but they absolutely were killed by the Cybermen. How they were killed by the Cybermen is not revealed. Whether they were strangled or they were shot, but they're dead. The point is they're dead, and the Doctor's been blamed for it, as the Cybermen planned to happen.
They're dead, all right. Can I go now?
They're dead, Dave. Everyone's dead.
Bring it all back to aliens.
Oh, hey, there you go. So, Part 3. Take.
We start Part 3 with a flub line. What's the today?
Hey.
Not what's the delay, what's the today? I thought we'd moved away from flub lines in the 80s, apparently not.
So did I. I don't know. Maybe it was like 9:59.
Oh, God.
I've got my notes.
I hate the fact that I know what you're referring to with that. God damn it.
You actually got it. Damn.
And I hate you right now.
That's a deep... For reference, Kat, union laws for filming back... I at least back then, I've heard this on DVD.
Yeah.
Union laws back then were such that at 10 p.m. on the dot, they had to pull the plug.
Yeah, so maybe it was 9:59.
And since you mentioned Hitchhiker's Guide with Marvin, there's actually an extra on the 80s Hitchhiker's Guide series where they do a take and they finish it exactly at 10. So yeah, like, holy shit, we have to nail this take or we have to stop for the day.
So, you know how I said that Scott was competent and you know, nice break from the usual authority figure characters? He continues this here because he wants to go outside and help. Seems pretty reasonable. He's got his own soldiers to help him. But Nissa's like, no, you might make things worse. And this is when Nissa becomes the goddamn mother hen of the group. I'm sorry, but do you remember we said earlier that, oh, you know, it's nice to see a 3-person TARDIS team where everyone gets to do something. Well, Nissa doesn't.
Tegan is insisting on going out with Lieutenant Scott.
Yeah, Tegan gets to do something. Adric's with the Doctor, getting all sorts of scrapes. Nissa's role, stay in the TARDIS. And I don't know if something was going on with Sarah Sutton at the time, but...
You know what you can get if you anagram Nissa's name? Y-A-S.
Oh, no.
Yas, Queen.
Yes.
Yes, it's spelled with a Z, but nice try.
I know, but...
But yeah, she is the Yaz of this story. And I hate the fact that sentence came out of my mouth, because I like Nissa. Nissa's great, but she gets nothing to do here.
It's like she got nothing to do in Kinda, where she spent the entire story taking a fucking nap.
She stands in front of the TARDIS console, looks pretty, and tells people they can't go outside. That's it.
That's it.
Well, to be fair, she tells Scott that he can't go outside yet. Once the electromagnetic whatever has stopped. Then
true. Eventually, he just says, "I'm not waiting any longer," and then Tegan decides to come with him. But Tegan does have the foresight to take Professor Kyle's overalls with her, which I like. I don't like this freighter captain. This freighter captain is all about her bonus. God damn it!
I have written in my notes,
which again is very much like Alien. With the bonuses.
I have written in my notes, oh, fuck to your bonus and your fines and your cargo. Like, this is my... We don't find out whether we do find out whether shipping, but I want to know what they think they're shipping.
We never find out what they thought it
because
was.
they're so
Yeah.
yeah. They think it was gold or something because they're really, really fucking
Yeah,
conservative.
they
Well,
certainly don't think
hopefully
it is what it actually is.
What is it? Is it like fucking gold pressed platinum or some shit?
I've no idea, but what it actually is, of course, because we get a nice little scene here, are Cybermen. It's
Yeah.
this is the Cyber Leader's personal guard. The personal guard.
We get our knockoff a tomb thing with the cyber boys waking up.
Yes, it's meant to evoke that famous scene from Tomb, and it sort of does the job. It might have looked better if it didn't just look like the Cybermen were emerging from plastic bags.
They're shrink wrapped for convenience.
To be fair, other 60 stories, I'm remembering the second Doctor Cyberman story called The Invasion. A cliffhanger in one of those is a Cyberman emerging from a plastic bag, so
Okay.
that's at least consistent with nostalgia.
Yeah. I do like that when later on when the Cybermen are when the Cybermen are seen having emerged, some of them are still wrapped in the plastic partially. Good job, production team.
No, you took them out of the plastic casing. Now they're only worth half their value.
Oh no! Right. So
Yeah, that's in the cliffhanger to part. That's in the cliffhanger to part 3. Is the wrapped in plastic? So I've jumped ahead a bit there, but it is funny.
Admittedly, in my notes, I've sort of lost the plot here because the plot is Cybermen's.
Yeah, well, the non-cyber plot is on the bridge. We've got Adric and the Doctor being confronted by the 3 crew members: Ringway, Berger, and Briggs.
Oh boy!
Nothing much comes of it. Briggs is just sit over there while I take care of things. Ringway is sent to go after intruders, which are Lieutenant Scott and his party, and Tegan. So there's now no guns being held on the Doctor, but they still just sit there anyway.
Well, to be fair, would you want to mess with Briggs as well? She might start talking to you.
Oh god!
Again, I don't want to diss on Beryl Reid because again she was quite well respected, but apparently she didn't read the character like it was in the script, and it sort of worked for the character what they were going for, but it wasn't quite how they had it in the script, so they had to make changes. But
say this was just stunt casting, and it seems like the writer wrote generic hard-ass space captain. And then, I don't know who Beryl Reid is, admittedly, but it seems like they might have just gone, oh, hey, shit, what if we got Beryl Reid? That'd be
I don't think it's stunt casting. I think it's that originally the part was written for a younger person.
Okay.
And then Beryl Reid read for it, like, you know what, she's perfect. We'll rewrite it for her. So, I don't know if I would dislike the character as much. No, I would, because it's not just the fact that Beryl Reid plays her and fluffs her lines. It's what the captain stands for, i.e. nothing but gold.
Money.
Ironic, considering.
Yeah. I've also got written in my notes that Tegan has a pretty big dig at herself when she refers to herself as a mouth on legs.
Which actually, hang on, I gotta check something really quick here. Let me just type that. Yes, the actress who plays Tegan, Janet Fielding.
Yeah.
Her Twitter is @JF Mouth on Legs.
I love it.
Beautiful. Almost as beautiful as the scene that comes up after this, where turns out Ringway is the one working for the Cybermen.
Yeah, I do like how usually in classic Doctor Who stories, the Doctor finds out about the monster of the week fairly early on. There are exceptions, but usually he finds out that something is not right, who's going up against fairly early on. In this story, he doesn't find out until halfway through part 3.
So, wait, Kat, what you're saying is Ringway was sus.
Oh,
Yep, time to yeet him out the airlock.
I knew there was going to be Among Us references in this. I just knew it.
Fucking Among Us reference?
There's one imposter among us still.
Amongst Us.
One imposter among us, huh?
I've just realised now that guy died, and I feel incredibly sad.
Wait, who?
Yeah, the Honest Movie Trailers voice guy died.
Oh. Did he?
Yeah, so I apologise for talking about that, but yeah, I think he did.
I mean, we can celebrate his life of doing movie voiceover trailer things.
I think it was him, yeah. Because the Honest Game trailers and the Honest Film trailers are the same guy, right?
I have no idea.
No idea.
Well, anyway, rest in peace to I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but rest in peace to them. But we get a nice bit of
another shoot. We get ourselves.
We get a nice bit of cleverness actually from the script here, where while the scene's playing out on the bridge, Scott is now outside, and the Cybermen have massacred the crew that Ringway put there. Ringway conveniently walks away from that massacre, and I've got written cowardice or something more sinister. Did he sell the crew out? Turns out he actually absolutely sold the crew out.
Yep. Of course, like I said, this does lead to the best scene I've ever seen, where the Briggs has set up a blockade, and obviously it's full of humans and boxes, so it doesn't do shit against Cybermen. So they're just plowing through that. They get to the bridge, and the doctor's like, oops, I'm going to close the door on this one. And then the Cyberman gets frozen in carbonite.
Oh, that shit.
Oh, yeah.
That is the best shit.
That happens a bit later on, but we can talk about that now.
Yeah, this is
that's
wild.
what happens in the moment, so.
Okay, let's just talk about some other stuff before we get to that. We get a mention of Mondas and Talos again, 10th planet, Tomb of the Cybermen. Basically, you either get it if you're watching or you don't. If you get it, it's like, hey, okay, I remember that.
Yay.
And also, a little plot point from the Tom Baker story that was referenced earlier is that the Cybermen are allergic to gold. It clogs up their respirators or some shit. This is a weakness that I don't think is really... Well, actually, Nightmare in Silver.
Nightmare in Silver, and then it never mentions it ever again.
Yeah, that's weird. That's the only one of the modern era that references Cybermen being weak to gold.
Continuity, who cares?
This is Doctor Who. We're talking about a show with 3 Atlantises.
Yeah.
One of which we've covered. We'll get to the other 2 someday, but...
Yeah.
Someday.
Anyway, Adric, upon hearing this, he tries to hide his little star badge, which is made of gold, which is a badge he got on his home planet for scientific excellence. We haven't done full circle.
No.
I can tell you that much. And, Ringway sees him trying to hide it, and, big deal, but... We're just gonna set that gold badge.
Yeah. Now this is Chekhov's gun.
Yeah.
Setting it right there. So we seal up the bridge, but they're coming from the other side, and we also get a mention here that the cargo they were carrying was Cybermen all along.
So it's again, I hate Ascension even more now.
1,000 cargo containers.
I hate Ascension even more now because it completely rips this off wholesale.
God damn it!
Yep.
God damn it! Oh, I'm sorry. I almost said we're not saying his name. God damn it, Gris.
I'm going to say his name. You're the one that's saying Gris Gribnall.
I'm just doing a running gag.
Whoever wrote Ascension is a hack because this plot line of the Cybermen hiding inside the ship's cargo, they just repeat in Ascension of the Cybermen.
You know what? You hate him. His work's a little bit shoddy because Chris Chibnall does not have an original bone in his body.
Yeah. Can we just point out I love the fact, going back to Ascension briefly, because there are parallels.
Yeah.
One of the big cliffhangers. One of the big cliffhangers.
No.
You know what you just said.
Frez, no parallels. They're parallels. Shush.
Hit the button, Kat.
Ascension does not deserve it.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Ascension does not deserve it.
But
all right.
One of the big cliffhanger scenes of Ascension of the Cybermen is there are Cybermen in the story called Ascension of the Cybermen.
At least this was called Earthshock.
hard.
Yeah, at least
their
they tried to
Cybermen
hide
and
it
the story
here.
About Cybermen.
Then we do get that scene where the Doctor has figured out that the some weird science bullshit about a black
I'll tell you what's going
dark
on.
matter.
The ship is antimatter. The engines are powered by antimatter. It's kind of like in Star Trek. The warp engines are powered by a antimatter containment field.
Yeah.
And like the computer simulates an antimatter containment field because, as we know from the Three Doctors, if matter and antimatter collide, big boom. So the computer simulates and constantly creates a containment field. So the Doctor is fucking with the computer as the Cybermen are breaking through. And one of the Cybermen breaks through the door. He tries to get in there. The Doctor sticks the antimatter thing in his hand and creates an antimatter boom and instant cyber wall art.
Yeah, he fuses the Cybermen into the door, and this is a really iconic image.
It is the best thing ever.
Also, I have here, there must be a big gun battle with Scott and Tegan and stuff, because Tegan apparently blasts a fucking Cyberman.
This is amazing. So, while this is all going on the bridge, Scott and his soldiers have encountered two Cybermen standing guard after they've massacred all the crew members at the blockade that wasn't. And Scott shows great military tactics here because Tegan says, what are you going to go for? I want that one to get a little bit closer, right now. And they shoot them dead. Or rather, they shoot one of them dead. Tegan, goddamn Tegan, they've both been incapacitated. Tegan runs over, grabs the Cyberman's gun, and blasts it full in the chest.
God damn.
God damn, it's right.
This will seem like a very small thing, but it's something I appreciate a lot because a lot of movies and TV shows don't do it. Scott and his soldiers actually practice trigger discipline.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy about that.
Like I said, he's a competent character. The problem with him is that his accent changes between parts 1 and 2, and they actually comment.
I am fine with that.
They comment on this on the actual commentary for the DVD. Like, his voice has changed, and we have no idea why. That wasn't in the script.
I haven't fired up the commentary.
Best guess is that James Warwick was compensating for the fact that he was outdoors and he was indoors, and he compensated by changing his voice somehow. And somehow no one noticed until it was too late. So
anyway, now the Cybermen think Ringway betrayed them.
Yeah, because one of the Cybermen gets away from the massacre and crawls away. And they're like, we killed all the crew members. There must be more. Ringway has lied to us. So the Cyberman is now frozen inside the door, so they can't use that door. That door is useless. Unfortunately, there's another door. And they just blow it up.
Yep.
So all of that was for nothing. We then get another iconic moment where the Cybers have marched in. They've taken over. Leader goes straight to the Doctor and goes, "We meet again, Doctor."
Ooh.
I'm sorry, I love David Banks' voice.
It's okay, I love David Banks' voice too.
It's okay, so do I.
And the Cybermen are like, we're going to kill someone now. And they kill Ringway.
Yes.
And he is astonished. He's been shot. And what's the great line?
Is it bad of me that all I can think of now is like a toilet bowl cleaner called Cyberman, which gets the rings away?
So
I've been replaying Danganronpa recently. I'm sorry.
What's the great line? I've got it written down. So, you never change. Always the perfect guest.
God.
Damn, Doctor, a man's just died.
Here's the thing that I don't think we even know. What was Ringway's plan?
We never find out.
Like what was he getting out of this?
I guess take over the ship, get the crew killed, and then he would evacuate.
But what was he getting out of it?
According to this, it just says that he grew tired of Briggs bullying him, which, honestly, I didn't see her bullying him. I just saw her dealing with an insubordinate crew member. So,
I don't really get it.
It's one of the few things that Earthshock kind of does badly, where you kind of need an explanation for that.
Yeah.
We don't really get one.
And then we get the cliffhanger that Ascension would rip off 30-something years later.
Oh my god.
The Cyber Army awakens and all hope seems lost. And this is where some of them are still wrapped in plastic. And I don't know if this was a production goof or intentional, but it's funny.
I do like that you can tell where the video effect ends. They basically just filmed the same scene 3 times and layered it in a row.
Yeah, get ready to see a lot of cyber asses.
Which the plastic makes even more obvious because miraculously the plastic is on all 3 guys in a row. Strange that.
Ironically, my first note for episode 4 is, God, Nissa and Kyle really just spent half the story in the TARDIS.
What was the point of Kyle in this story? Apart from her one big moment in part 4. Apart from one big moment in part 4. Part 1, yeah, she has a purpose in part 1. Part 2, she's like, I've got to go with Scott and we've got to find out about this bomb. And then does nothing.
What you gonna do?
She lends Tegan her overalls. But I can't hate on part 3 because of that incredible moment from Tegan. Which, actually, Scott says, don't ever do that again. So kudos to him for that. But she's both incredibly brave and incredibly reckless in the same moment. I just like it when companions actually do something useful. I'm sorry.
No, I think we all like that.
Yeah. So the Cyber Army has awakened and all hope seems lost. And so on to part 4 then, where we finally get the reveal of the Cybermen's plot. And it's actually quite a letdown.
Yeah.
So there's an intergalactic conference on Earth. And if it goes through, a whole bunch of planets will be united in the war against the Cybermen. But if Earth happens to get blown up, well, then there won't be any conference, and then the Cyber War can continue, and they can continue their conquests.
Yeah, and
actually, which is funny because you keep mentioning Ascension. Ascension is like the last days of the Cyber War, where they
yeah.
I was thinking like. So does this tie into that?
It does,
like,
doesn't
it?
Gosh,
it does.
You can tell Mr. Grimnall watched this a lot.
Why?
Yep.
But
doesn't make it any good.
While the plot itself is rather sound, it's not, for me, something the Cybermen would actually do, because this is the problem with the Cybermen. This story paints them as generic robots.
Yeah.
Are we going to get into this now? I thought we would get into it a little later.
Okay, if that's what you want to do.
There's a big moment with the Cybermen where they try to prove their superiority. I wanted to get into it there.
Okay, we'll do that. Yeah. So let's shotgun through this. So the original plan, the bomb was to pretty much destroy Earth. Then they'd take over the freighter, and the army would kill anyone who survived, apart presumably from Ringway. I said they'd totally betray him as well, but he's gone now anyway. But the Doctor thwarted that. But it's okay, he had a backup plan. The Cyber Leader had a backup plan. The freighter is powered by antimatter, so just crash that son of a bitch into Earth and it will destroy the Earth.
There you go. That works.
Cool.
At some point, Tegan is captured.
No. In the Cyber Leader's own words.
Excellent!
I'm deaf.
There we go.
That was very loud.
No, that worked. Yeah, it was a bit loud, but that's okay.
A bit? That really hurt.
How about this?
Excellent!
Better?
Thank God I actually turned the volume down that time, but yeah, that's better.
Okay.
Again, ow.
I can't tell how loud it's going to be for you guys, so...
That's fine, it's fine. But, yeah. Excellent is right. So, while this is going on, Tegan has got herself captured. Why didn't they just kill her at this point? Because they didn't know she was a companion of the Doctor. But they don't, because plot armor, I guess. Who they do kill...
I can sort of explain this away. By saying that since they thought that Ringway had lied to them about the numbers, they wanted to get everybody together before killing them.
Yeah, all right. speaking of people getting killed, then the soldiers led by Lieutenant Scott get back to the TARDIS, but one of them gets grabbed by the neck, so she's gone. Except not, because she then gets inside the TARDIS.
Whoops.
This is a massive production goof. So there are 3 soldiers with Scott, 1 male, 1 female, 2 male. And the female one quite clearly gets grabbed because you hear her react to it. But then she runs inside the TARDIS with one of the males. The other male isn't seen. And yeah. So, oops. I can only think there was like multiple takes of this with different permutations and they just used the wrong one.
Maybe.
Anyway, the Cybermen
And
break
also,
into the TARDIS. Nyssa...
And rip in peace, Professor Kyle.
Yeah, this is just sad. So Professor Kyle did nothing for an episode and a half, and then she tries to help and gets shot by mistake by Scott, holding onto the Cyberman arm.
Yeah, great.
Again, why?
And this leads us into the big, well, one of the big scenes of episode 4. The Cybermen, the Cyber leader, confronting the Doctor, and the whole speech about emotions versus cold, hard logic.
And I like this.
So it's a nice speech by Davison. It's like, you don't know the pleasure of sniffing a flower, or eating a well-prepared meal. The small, beautiful moments in life are what life is all about. And the Cyberman, the leader, is just like, oh, you've got affection for this woman? We'll kill her. It's like, no, don't! And the Cyber leader is all, ha! You say this is not an emotional weakness? Well, now I have power over you. If I want you to comply, I shall threaten to kill the girl. Ooh. And like, you know, it's an emotion versus logic scene, you know, it's Cybermen trope nonsense, but we never get a scene where, like, the power of emotion is proven to be superior.
No, we don't. But the actual bit with Tegan being used as a bargaining chip, I quite like. I think that handles the Cybermen right.
I mean, who the fuck knows? Because this episode just put it there to pad time almost. It's like, that's not okay. I don't know if we're saying his name or not. If we're not, bleep him. But even Gareth Roberts in fucking Closing Time bothered to have an emotional versus love.
I'm not a fan of not saying people's names because that just gives power to the absence. You can say his name all you want.
Yeah.
But he's a transphobic bastard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even he actually bothered. Like, his climax is about love beating the fuck out of the Cybermen's cold hard emotion.
He is a transphobic bastard. Unfortunately,
So,
that doesn't mean he can't write, because he can.
Well, Closing Time has 2 good scenes. One of them I don't think was done by him because it's the Kavarian scene at the end.
Yeah, that's pure Moffat.
The other one I like 11 with the baby.
I just like James Corbin.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but I do.
That's fine. That's fine. But that brings us to the other issue with these Cybermen. And this is some. Did I come up with this with you? I gotta. Yeah, here we are.
We talked about this, yes.
Yeah, let me just reiterate what I said in DM with you. The Cybermen in the story kind of suck because they don't really act like Cybermen. They act emotional, that's sure, but there's nothing save for that little bit of design that makes them Cybermen. Now, maybe this is me, okay? But my personal belief is if you could take a Cyberman story and substitute the Cybermen with evil robot and not substantially change the writing or themes of your story, you have written a bad Cyberman story.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree with that
A
completely.
big part of the Cybermen are the body horror aspect, and it's like, if you don't have any of that, or if you don't have the human aspect of it, it just kind of falls flat.
Going back to you, Rainiac, you can't imagine a version of Rise of the Cybermen where they're purely robot.
No
organic material.
Which is what makes Tom McRae's writing so good in that episode, because they are very human.
Dark Water, Death in Heaven. Again, the entire point of that. The horror of them being human.
Yeah.
Even Nightmare in Silver. I think, Nightmare and Silver has some of this.
Well,
Maybe?
it's the fact that they took over the kids and they're starting to take over the Doctor that really led to the horror of
Yeah.
it.
Even Tomb of the Cybermen has a little of this. They try to take over Toberman. So.
And
then
I,
you get-
I hate to say, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but there is a small part in Timeless Children where they have the fucking Cyber Time Lords. And that actually kind of works because
Yeah.
you realize the horror of they're using dead bodies of the Time Lords to make these Cybermen.
My God.
I mean, even
And
in...
that's all the
we
praise I'm going to give it.
I'm
Did
going to
we
praise
just
Timeless Children as well,
argue-
so get the smelling salts ready, people.
Did we just fucking call the Timeless Children a better Cyberman story than Earthshock?
I think we
no,
did.
No, we did not. No, we did not. No, we did not. There's just one part that it does well, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
I mean,
Everything
one
else
element.
sucks.
I will say this: the bit in Timeless Children where Ashar tells the Master his plan, and his plans become completely emotionless and not human, is like, well, that kind of sucks. You're just robots.
Yes.
Aware to a degree.
Yes.
And that's
nothing
just
gives
this-
me
that's
actual
just
vomit
Earthshock.
blood because I praised him.
That's Earthshock. That's just Earthshock in a nutshell. That kind of sucks. You're just robots.
Yeah, they're just robots in this story.
Don't need me for the
24
next 3 hours because I'm going to be vomiting blood because
Wait,
it's
is
Timeless
hang on,
Children.
I got to peek at the poll. Is this the best Cyberman story? I think Tomb will probably beat it out. Let me just check here.
But the other reason, and you've mentioned it, the lack of body horror. There are no attempts.
Tomb is 1 point ahead of this on that poll.
There are
So
no.
This is second best Cyberman story according to that poll.
Okay.
What are you saying? There were no what?
There are no attempts by the Cybermen to convert anybody.
Well, they're just out to murder people.
And when they grabbed that female soldier, maybe they could have dragged her off to be converted. There's your body horror. No, she's just never seen again.
Or they could have
Body
done a
horror
little
is
thing
one
like
Muppet Mouth on David Banks.
like that bit from Asylum where they had the Dalek stalks coming out of people's heads. Why
Oh,
couldn't they do something like that where they had the brainwashing slugs?
oh
in them
my
or something?
God. You know, I mocked the Dalek puppets when they were first introduced. Like, that's a bit dumb, but actually, that's a really good concept.
It's like in Nightmare in Silver where they took over the kids but didn't fully convert them. Why couldn't they start doing that to the people who were down in the mines and use like a zombie army against everybody? That would
Most
be
of the other
horrifying.
80s Cybermen stories have something like this. Attack the Colin Baker Cyberman story, Attack of the Cybermen, has some real body horror, pushing things a little too far, maybe it could be argued. And the Silver Nemesis, the McCoy one, has some people who have been brainwashed by them, so there's a little bit of at least attempt at conversion. And then there's the Five Doctors, which doesn't have it, but you know, they're basically like a 20th anniversary cameo, so I'll give that one a pass. It's because, you know, 20th anniversary, they're there for the sake, you know?
I think that's just the basis of Cybermen is they have to have that body horror aspect to them or else they're just evil robots.
Yeah, generic evil robots.
It is so easy to separate them from the body horror aspect that so many people do it, and it just does the Cybermen dirty.
Yeah.
This is...
So now we approach
this
the
is
end game of Earthshock.
The end game.
Yeah.
Right.
So that the leader is going to leave with his troops in the TARDIS. He conveniently knows the giant blinking lights that says escape pod directly behind him.
He's going to take the Doctor and Tegan and a bunch of other people with him. But he's making them leave Adric behind.
Yeah. And can I just point out the heartbreaking look on Davidson's face?
Oh, God.
The pain etched on his face when he realizes, I have to leave Adric behind. And Adric thinks it's only going to be like...
scene right.
They do.
They do the last bit of episode 4 right.
They do. So, Adric thinks it's only going to be temporary because he says, I'll see you soon to Tegan. But they're separated. Then the Cyber Leader completely ruins it because as he's escorted the Doctor to the TARDIS, he slips on the steps.
Oh my god.
Like his foot clearly misses the steps, and he nearly falls over, but he keeps it going. So again, David Banks is a professional.
To be fair, I imagine it's really hard to see in those helmets.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It is, but I'm not.
So
again, I'm not
they're
knocking the man.
So the Cybermen are leaving the rest of the crew behind to blow up on the ship to gauge their fear for emotional research in the fight against humanity, which I guess is a little fucked up sort of Cybermen's thing in its own right?
You say
guess.
that, I say naff, but yeah.
Okay, nah.
I say it's a really weak reason. If it was
Fair.
purely for sadism, then I could understand that.
They don't
them
have,
just
but
doing
they're
it
Cybermen.
to just be cruel, but
They
they
shouldn't
don't
have a concept of
they
sadism.
don't have any emotions.
Yeah, but the leader leaves behind.
Just a very weird scene.
The leader goes with his lieutenant to the TARDIS. He leaves behind 2 of his advanced guard. It doesn't work out for them at all because at that moment, Lieutenant Scott shows up and shoots them both. There's a bit of part 3 I didn't mention earlier. Really nice bit of continuity that they talk about. Because Scott actually refers to the rifles. Because at one point in part 3, I've got like... convenient for the production team that the freighter crew uses the exact same guns as the soldiers in part 1. And then 5 minutes later, Scott references this. he says, "Our weapons won't do anything. Look at the rifles they're using. They're the same rifles as us, and they're all dead." So I like that. They actually, use a production easy get out, and they refer to it in the script.
Wild.
But anyway, the guns do work because they've got weapons now from the Cybermen themselves. So they take out the 2 Cybermen guarding the crew and Adric.
You should also mention, and this is going to be important in a second, that the Cybermen have attached some sort of advanced alien tech to the controls of the freighter. So that it's stuck on autopilot or whatever, effectively.
Yeah, and this advanced alien tech becomes very quickly bullshit.
Oh, incredibly, as we'll get to in a moment.
Yeah.
Like, it's a bit extra, but it's a bit of an ass pull.
It's really extra.
And from this point on, we keep cutting back between the freighter and the TARDIS. So on board the TARDIS are the Cyber Leader and his lieutenant, Nyssa, who's been there the entire time, Tegan and the Doctor.
The Doctor, Tegan, and Nyssa are also there.
Yeah.
And on the freighter, we got Lieutenant Scott, the Captain, Berger, and Adric.
And one of the troopers, because the other one dies off camera.
So Adric's plan here is that the advanced alien tech is based on logic gates or logic ciphers or something like that. And hey, I'm a mathematician. I got this shit on lockdown. Let me get at it. Numbers, baby. I can crack the code.
Yeah, and Berger tries to help him.
Now, and here's where the bullshit comes. Fucking with this somehow causes, and keep in mind, this is Cyberman tech designed to put the ship on autopilot. This somehow turns the freighter.
Let's not also forget, this is a freighter, which just has the antimatter thing, and that's like the most advanced thing it has.
So we'll just say it's a run-of-the-mill
stuff.
Standard spaceship for the 26th century or whatever this is.
Yeah,
that's
important.
It's no super special ship. It's just, a cargo ship. It's basically like a transport truck for us in space.
Yeah.
The logic gates on this bit of Cyberman tech turns the freighter into a time machine.
Go fucking figure.
And it starts jumping across timelines, jumping back in between the past and the present and whatnot, fading out of existence, kind of like a TARDIS. So, what?
Yeah.
Cybermen's autopilot thing also doubles as time travel.
Yeah, it's very half-assed. It's very half-assed, this.
These Cybermen don't come from Earth's future or anything, trying to do like a Terminator, blow up the Earth's version of the past. They're present-day Cybermen from the 26th century.
We do get a nice bit from Tegan here where the whole plan by the Cybermen is to drive the freighter into the Earth and blow it up. And then he says, we want to observe in the TARDIS, so you will follow it wherever it goes. And then Tegan goes, well, you've just destroyed your own plan, haven't you? Because they'll see the TARDIS on radar, and the Doctor shakes his head. And they won't do that because the Cybermen have cleverly used the massive shape of the freighter to hide the TARDIS on radar. Essentially, the shapes will overlap on the radar.
As we mentioned before, the freighter jumping back in time means that it eventually ends up 65 million years in the past and is going to blow up the Earth of the past, and the Cyber Leader's just like, oh, hey, we'll wipe out Earth
That
before
works
humanity
too.
even exists. That's fine.
Yeah.
Patrick and Co. have cracked 2 of the 3 codes, but Lieutenant Scott is like, we're on a goddamn collision course. There's no time. We have to get to the escape pod now. Drags Adric into the escape pod. As the escape pod door is shutting, Adric is like, of course, that's it! And he hops out.
Yeah.
Trying to solve that last logic code.
And they don't try to stop him.
See, here's the thing, though. Adric does not know what's going on. He doesn't know that they've gone back in time or anything. He still thinks that he's got to save the Earth.
It's true. All that really happens when the freighter goes back in time is a bunch of turbulence.
Yeah. So it's like they have no idea. All Adric knows is that we've got to finish this, or else the Earth is going to be destroyed. So
well, I will mention something that the story doesn't touch on, but is a bit of horror. So who's on that escape pod?
Briggs, Burgess, Scott, and the Trooper.
Conclusion I did.
Yeah.
You came to the same conclusion I did.
65 million years in the past. They leave.
Yeah.
They're fucked.
Unless the Doctor picks them up at some point, which we don't see in the episode.
I will say, without spoiling the next series after this, in case we ever do it, they are not screwed.
What?
They're not screwed.
Oh, is it part of the thing that we're not talking about just yet?
Wait, they have a line covering them?
In the next story, they refer to the fact that they are dropped off safely back in their own time.
Okay. I haven't looked at that one in a while.
I didn't know about that.
I mean, with good reason, but yes. This is the opposite of Orphan 55, where they actually, address the elephant in the room that, these people that tried to help us are kind of stranded. Well, maybe we'll go and save them.
I honestly would expect them to just forget, but yeah, okay, fine.
Because I was also thinking about the fact that they were blinking in and out of time, slowly going back in time. They never said that they went immediately back to 65 million or whatever it was.
The pod does have a link to the TARDIS, because they're communicating with Scott. Scott says Adric's gone back outside, and then the Cyber Leader crushes the communicator with his bare hand.
Well, yeah, but my main worry was that they'd be lost to some random time. So,
right, here's where we get the big tying things together, firing one of Mr. Chekhov's guns.
Yeah.
65 million years in the past. A big fuck up thing's about to crash into Earth. Earth will be fine. The freighter is what killed the dinosaurs.
Earth will be fine.
What killed the dinosaurs? The freighter!
Freighter. Excellent. So it was all a big
Excellent!
It was all a big predestination paradox.
Of course it was.
Something to make me happy.
The Earth is safe. The Cybermen are furious about this, and they're like, "Well, we're going to kill you now."
Well, fury is a strong emotional word.
Okay, they are displeased.
Logically unamused.
Yeah, they are displeased that the plan has failed.
That's one of the problems with the Cybermen is that it is so hard to describe something without putting emotion into it.
I know.
Because if you try to make it just pure logic, then why is the Cyber Leader so annoyed that its plan didn't work?
But this is a problem with any kind of cold and emotionless character, though.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know if either of you two have played it, but the Kingdom Hearts games.
I played one of them.
Nope. No.
Well, in this second game, they have a series of people who are part of Organization 13. And the idea is that their hearts were taken out, so they are what's called nobodies. However, because their hearts are gone, that means that they can't have any real emotions. And
What?
yet, throughout the
I'm sorry, they can't have emotions? Larkstein says hi.
and the way it's explained away is that they're just pretending so that they can feel more human again.
Again, Larkstein says
That doesn't
hi.
make any
Welcome to
fucking
Kingdom
sense.
fucking Hearts.
Yeah.
I hate to say
mean,
it.
You're right too.
And they're going to the
I've
Epic Game.
played these games.
They're
Even
going
I
to the,
still don't
those
fucking
games.
understand it.
Hang on a minute. Those games are going to the Epic Games Store this year. So a whole new audience is going to learn them for the first time. Good luck out there, whoever you are.
Right.
Kingdom Hearts is an absolute train wreck.
It is, and it's like, just to warn people away from this, you have to pretty much play every single game, read pretty much every single bit of media, just to get a glimpse of what the story is all about. Because it's so bullshit.
Which the completionist touched on when he reviewed all those games.
And don't even get me started on Kingdom Hearts 3, which recently came out. That is pretty much just a Pixar Wonderland, and I'm still pissed about that.
Yeah.
But anyways, what I'm trying to
Earthshock?
say is that portraying characters without any emotions is super hard. So at some point, you're going to have to give them emotions, because otherwise they're not a compelling character. And that's one of my biggest problems with the Cybermen, is the fact that you have to give them emotions. You just have to. There's no way to describe them without talking about emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Russell T Davies era Cybermen, well, they were emotionless and also effective and creepy. But they also never got like pissed off their plans being ruined.
Yeah, it's like they were actually well written, because they were the emotionless monsters that they were supposed to be. And
There is
pretty much everything else, they have way too much.
There is one 20-second scene in Doomsday that encapsulates the Cybermen better than anything in Earthshock, and that is the bit where the Doctor is sat with the Cyber Leader, and the Cyber Leader just goes to him, "You are proof that emotions destroy you," and the Doctor goes, "Yeah, I am. Mind you, I quite like hope. Hope's a good emotion, and here it comes." That scene is better than just about anything involving the Cybermen in Earthshock.
Well, speaking of getting rid of the Cybermen in Earthshock, here's the other Chekhov's gun. As the Doctor grinds Adric's goddamn gold star into the Cyber Leader's ventilation plate.
Asphyxiates them.
Yep.
Asphyxiates him, and then for good measure shoots the shit out of him.
Man who never would my arse!
And then, of course, at one point, there is the second Cyberman who went off into the TARDIS. He eventually comes back, and is it Tegan who shoots him?
I think so.
Nissa.
Unfortunately.
Nissa.
Unfortunately,
okay, so Nissa did something. Nissa did something.
Yeah, you know what Nissa also did? Nissa got fried by a stray spark from the TARDIS console, because the Cyber Leader, as he's dying, shoots the TARDIS console. That was planned. A stray spark from that explosion then catches Sarah Sutton's hair. That was not planned.
Oh gosh.
So the scream she gives when he shoots the console wasn't in the script, but they kept it in.
Oh jeez.
They just thought she was ad-libbing, and it worked really well. And they're like, "No, I thought my hair was on fire." So she was fine. She wasn't hurt at all. But the scream actually works really well. But back on the freighter, Adric is trying to crack this final code.
Oh, God.
When the damaged Cyberman from earlier enters, shoots the ship's console and fries it to a crisp, and then conveniently dies straight after.
And Adric just sits there looking at the ruined computer and says, "Now I'll never know if I was right."
That's heartbreaking.
And since the TARDIS has been shot, the Doctor can't get back to the freighter very quickly. So, and I can make this a lot worse, because the final shot of Adric is him watching the approaching Earth, right?
Yeah.
You notice that he's grabbing onto something? Like a rope?
Yeah.
I can make this so much worse because we haven't done.
Just fucking
Full
do
circle.
it. Just
That's not a
fucking say
rope.
it.
It's a memento from his brother who died in Full Circle.
Yeah.
It's a sash he's been carrying around with him ever since.
Yeah. So that's what he's gripping on too tightly as he watches. And, yeah, Freighter blows the holy fuck up.
Yeah.
It just blows up on the screen, but the intent is obviously...
We have our first
it's
companion
slammed
death
in
since
right
the first Doctor era.
The basic is that it's the quote-unquote meteor that hits the Earth, causes millions of tons of Earth to shoot up into the atmosphere and clouds the sky, so that there's an ice age that kills off all the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And also, Adric was there, and he is dead.
We have our first proper companion death since the Dalek Master Plan.
Deep cut.
So I'm just gonna say this. I don't like watching kids get hurt. That's just something that I'm not a big fan of. There were certain parts of like the It series that I couldn't watch, specifically like shots of the little girl getting bitten and things like that. I don't like seeing that. I know it's fake. I know it's like squibs and CGI and all that. I don't like it. And the one thing that I can't stand is the fact that there were probably people back when this first aired who did not like Adric, who were celebrating the fact that a poor teenage kid just got slammed into the earth at, horrifying speeds and had to watch his death come slowly towards him.
I mean, yeah, and consider also that they decided in this story, let's be bold, let's do something the show hasn't done since 1965. Let's kill a companion. And the one they chose to kill, well, not just the kid, they killed the one that nobody liked.
And like, the thing that gets to me is that he was genuinely trying to be a hero. He wasn't trying to solve the logic puzzle just to be right. He was trying to solve it because he genuinely thought that he needed to do this. So when he jumped out of the elevator, he was like, I've got it. I can do this. I can save this.
Yeah. It's his confidence.
That gets to me.
It's his confidence in his abilities that gets him killed.
This goes back to, it goes forward, rather, to face the Raven. Because that's Clara's overconfidence that leads to her.
This is a point I want to make.
Well, no. See, I see these as different things. Because Clara's overconfidence came from the fact that she thought she was invincible. That she'd be able to do the same stuff that the Doctor did and be fine. The whole thing with the Raven was the sad conclusion that no, she really couldn't.
No.
It was the culmination of everything coming back onto her. This, even though I don't know a whole lot about Adric, this just feels cruel.
Fair too, yes. I can see what
this is the point I want to make. In the modern era, we are quite used now to companions dying tragically. It happened to Amy and Rory. It happened to Clara. It happened to Bill.
Well, I wouldn't call those tragic deaths because Moffat then went, and then they lived.
Sort of, yes.
Well, I think the sad part is that Amy and Rory lived. It's just that they can never see the Doctor again because time's all fucked up.
But the point I'm trying to make is that in the classic series, companion deaths were a rarity. If they departed the series, they departed it for other reasons, other than they died. So that's what makes this Adric death really stand out for me. And actually, of the three that have died in the classic series, one of them wasn't really a full-time companion, so she doesn't really count.
I will also say the design of the episode.
Yeah. And can I just say that...
Yeah, they really milk it.
Can I just say that for all of the decision to kill off Adric, whether it was the right one or the wrong one, the way they play out the aftermath is absolutely perfect.
Just Tegan and this... Tegan's just like asking, Adric? But what about... And then she...
Yeah, Nyssa is overcome by grief immediately. Tegan is angry and then that leads to grief. And the Doctor is just shocked. Completely stunned.
So here's what makes Earthshock worse in retrospect. This should have been the final story of the season, but it isn't. The next serial is called Time Flight, and Time Flight deals with the aftermath of Adric's death in about 5 minutes, and then the Doctor just goes, "Well, Adric wouldn't want us to mourn unnecessarily. Let's go somewhere to cheer everyone up." And then they just go and they have a Doctor Who adventure. And there's like one scene in Time Flight where they see like Adric's ghost or whatever. And it's not really that dramatic. Otherwise, it's just a stock Doctor Who adventure.
Okay. I'm mad now. Okay. Time for a Pan and Cat rant. So,
Go wild!
Oh boy.
Okay. So, I have a theory. And it's a theory that I think most people will agree with. And that theory is that fandoms fucking suck.
Absolutely.
It does not matter what fandom it is. It could be the My Little Pony fandom, Doctor Who, Homestuck. Holy shit, Homestuck. All of them will always have these fucking toxic ass people who will either be a standout or they will poison the entire fandom. That being said, I can't say for sure exactly what their decision was in making the next episode that way, where they just give the 5 minutes and then head on to the next adventure. However, it does feel a little bit like it may have been influenced by the fact that Adric was such a disliked character. Again, I can't confirm this, but I will say this is one of the things that I really fucking hate about fandoms, is that sometimes you don't want to listen to the fandom. You gotta play it how the characters would play it.
Case in point, Star Wars Rise of Skywalker?
Yes. Just, there comes a point where you have to realize that you're going to piss people off. That's just a given. Someone is not going to be happy. You could have, like, Steven Universe, which has a lot of LGBT themes. It's great for that. It has trans themes. It has, non-gender conformity themes. There's going to be a lot of people who don't like that. They're called assholes, but there's going to be a lot of people who don't like that. It's the same if you go ultra-conservative, where you have people not wanting gay relationships on screen. They think that's going to be offensive. That's also to the extreme, and that's not something that you want to do.
Funny, Kat?
What?
Just today, we had a guy who will remain nameless, but he is a figure in Doctor Who fandom, and he was tweeting some bullshit about how the core of the show is essentially that the Doctor is, quote, male-coded. A male-coded alien.
Bullshit.
Shit.
This is exactly the shit I mean. The shit that came out when the 13th Doctor came around and they said that it was going to be a woman. And all these people were like, but the Doctor is actually a man the entire time. Bullshit. I'm glad they did not listen to the fandom. I am so very glad they did not listen to the fandom. But the point I'm trying to make is fandoms can and will be toxic. And there will always be those people who will scream louder than everybody else. When they scream louder than everybody else, they're the ones that get listened to, unfortunately. So that's why I really hate when people make decisions like this based off what the fandom wants. Do not listen to the fandom. Do not. There are certain times where you can listen to the fandom and want to do that, like wrestling fans. Wrestling fans are fantastic. Holy shit.
Like, I can feel Rainiac's smile from here.
Yeah, I'm beaming. I'm beaming. And even wrestling fans.
I've heard of all these fantastic stories where unfortunately, there are certain wrestlers who came into health problems and they needed help with that, and the fans came out in droves in order to help them. And that's fantastic. I love that.
And even wrestling fans have a subset that are, I would say, not the best of people, but they are a minority.
They're horrible parts.
They are a minority.
They're still going to have horrible parts, but there are fandoms out there that are genuinely good. And you will always find the bad ones and the good ones, so on and so forth.
And there are good parts in every fandom.
Yes.
Just as there are really shit parts in every fandom.
Yes, exactly. So, it is of an opinion. It's the same thing with focus groups. When people show movies to focus groups, and then they eventually listen to those focus groups and really fuck up the movie, like I Am Legend, where they had that bullshit ending when they could have had the true ending. But I'm of the opinion that you would want to listen to the fans' opinion, but you also need to think about what is best for the story at hand. And if you're so afraid to have the story continue on the way it is, then you should not be in any sort of media.
Case in
If you're
point,
afraid to put it out there, then you shouldn't be doing it.
case in point, again, Rise of Skywalker. This is exactly what Disney
Yeah.
did with that
Yeah.
movie. They took a bunch of assholes in fandom, took the last movie really badly because of certain things, and Disney panicked, and they, what's the word I'm looking for? They cowered
Retconned?
back. They backpedaled.
They retconned.
Retcon.
And they backpedaled and retconned. So Kelly Marie Tran, the actress from The Last Jedi, who was really nice, and she got harassment, and the fans were like, "Oh," and the asshole fans were like, "We hate this person. She sucks ass. So we don't like her at all." You know, usual, and worse language than that I won't repeat here.
Yeah.
And what happened in episode 9? She gets a minute of screen time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because the company decided, it seems like the company decided it would be a safer bet to not have her in the movie.
Yeah.
So
That was a part of the backlash against Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy.
exactly.
And
yeah.
so their script was shelved. J.J. Abrams' script was brought in, and his script didn't have Rose because he didn't create Rose.
It's exactly like what they did to Johnny Depp. When people thought that Johnny Depp was a monster who was abusing Amber Heard, everybody was like, "Oh no, we can't do this." Then once it came out that Amber Heard was the one abusing him, everybody was like, "Okay, well, we're still not going to have him. He's still banned." It's like, what? But he's not the one at fault.
Yeah, the Johnny Depp situation just makes me sad, but I don't want to go into in depth for that because.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just my basic point, is that the fandom can be super toxic when it comes to certain things.
And this
like,
is...
Maybe Adric was a bad decision to put in. Maybe that wasn't something that people would want. Maybe it is true that he's not a great character, and I'm just one of the few people who actually likes him. I can understand that. What I can't understand is, did they take this decision just because they wanted to get rid of him to make the fandom happy? And did they continue with the next episode the way they did just to make them happy as well? That's the part that I really am iffy about.
I don't know.
I will say one thing to your theory. At this moment in the Doctor Who fandom, the early 80s, at this moment, the Doctor Who production office was beginning to build what would become fandom. Like in 1980, the official Doctor Who magazine came out, and they would have and the producer was going to conventions in America and stuff because it was getting popular. They were doing those old PBS reruns at the time, so it was getting popular in America.
Yeah.
And the year after this is the 20th anniversary, so they had the conventions and stuff there. It's the backbone of modern fandom. So knowing that it's being built up at this time, the proto-genesis of fandom, does add to your theory that this could be plausible, that they maybe Matthew Waterhouse just wanted out, or maybe they decided, I don't know for sure.
I don't think he wanted out for one very important reason.
What's that?
Waterhouse described his last day on the set. His last day shooting Doctor Who. When it was over, by his own words, they filled him with champagne, got him in a taxi, and he cried his eyes out.
Poor guy.
So I don't think he wanted to leave.
Even so,
that leads me more to think that it was a decision of the producers or something to make the fandom happy.
I think it absolutely was.
It's like, I can understand that. I can understand you want to keep the masses happy. But the point is not that... It's like when people take a movie and they say, hey, we know that this is a niche movie, only so many people are going to be into this, but we want to make it as accessible to everybody as possible. A great example of this for me is the Deadpool movie, where they were saying, oh, we're going to make it PG-13, so then that way everybody can watch it. That would not have been true to the character, and honestly, I was pissed off about that. Because if they did that, that's not Deadpool. That's just not.
Well,
No.
And the fact that
I
they
know
came
they
out
did
later
actually-
and said, hey, it's actually R-rated, I was super happy about that. That's fantastic.
I know they did do like that Deadpool Christmas movie. That
Yeah,
riffs
but that
on
was
Princess
making
Bride.
fun of it. And that,
Oh, it was
that's
making fun of it. Okay,
That's
Well, in
that
the-
is pure Deadpool right there. It's
Okay,
making
yeah.
fun of a PG-13. I mean,
Okay.
they had Fred Durst come in to replay his part from Princess Bride. They were
Fred
totally
Savage.
making fun of it.
Fred
Fred
Savage.
Savage, not Fred Durst.
Who's Durst? Who's Durst?
Limp Bizkit.
Keep
Shit.
rolling.
Okay, I don't know. I get them mixed up all the time because it's very similar, but whatever. But
Yeah.
it's just one of those. It's just stop trying to pander to people. Okay, if you're going to make a movie and it has an established fan base, guess what? The established fan base is still going to come see the fucking movie.
You know what this brings us back to? Believe it or not, catering to fandoms. Snyder Cut.
Oh God, yes.
And we keep coming back to the damn Schneider Cut.
I will say
And
that.
now
I
a
will
mirror
say.
movie. Fuck.
I will say that is the DC movies are actually a very good example of listening to the fandom going right, because people were complaining in Batman versus Superman, where there was all this collateral damage that was never talked about, and then immediately in the next movie they start talking about it.
Yeah.
I think Man of Steel. I don't know.
It was either Man of Steel or Batman versus Superman. I don't know.
The whole point-
I didn't watch them.
Superman.
The whole reason why Batman is against Superman is because of the collateral damage, so it's Man of Steel.
Yeah.
There it is. But
That must be.
at the very least, that's something good that they listen to the fandom about, because that is a huge deal. It's like they were taking down buildings and causing all this damage and probably killing a lot of people. Holy shit. So that's a good time where they listen to the fandom.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Don't do it all the fucking time, though.
and just to cap this off,
There is a limit.
just to cap this off, what you're saying is perfectly right. But to cap this off, they actually changed the credits to highlight Adric's death here. It's just a shot of the destroyed mathematical excellence badge, the remnants of it,
Yeah.
as the music fades out completely, and we just get scrolling credits over the destroyed badge.
Yep.
Completely silent.
It's a really
And
nice
again,
touch.
Like I said, if that ended the season, you didn't get any Doctor Who for 9 months after that, it would have been really great.
Oh god, that would have been
We go to Time Flight from this.
yeah.
God help us.
And before we get to overall thoughts, I'm now going to ruin the ending of Earthshock for you, because it turns out it wasn't the end for the
Yay!
character.
Oh! Oh no, Brainiac, you don't do it to her.
Oh no, it's okay. This is the thing that I saw.
She
by
knows about
accident
that. She
before
doesn't
we
know about
started
part
this.
5.
That's what I'm mentioning. I'm talking. No,
I'm talking about the other thing, but I'll mention that as well.
5.
I'm
So
sorry,
yeah,
part
there's a part 5 of Earthshock. It's on the DVD and everything.
It is.
What?
It is on the Blu-ray. I have it in my house.
It's on the Blu-ray.
Oh, no.
It's just a goof, though. It's just a goof. Basically, Adric, who's played by a lump of clay, and is actually credited as a lump of clay, is ejected
It's
from
a
the
clay-
spaceship when it hits the planet. There's no explosion. She goes, well, that was lucky. Then it gets eaten by a dinosaur, and that's the end of the. That's literally part 5.
Okay.
It's not an official part 5. It was a goof that someone did, and they're like, that's really funny. Let's put it on the DVD anyway.
Yeah, let's make fun of a poor child's horrific
I think it was like a student project that they were just doing for a laugh, and like, that's really funny. We'll put it on the DVD.
Again, I have a hard time laughing at that.
But
sort of
that's
thing.
not canon. So that just
Let's talk about the boy that time forgot.
that doesn't ruin Edric's
what-
story officially. This ruins Edric's story officially. The boy that time forgot. So
Now I'm new to this.
yeah,
What is this?
you know how Edric. This was a big finish serial in 2008, and you know how Edric had that big heroic sacrifice, and he gave his life to save the Earth, whether he meant to or not.
But what if he didn't.
Yeah, Big Finish says, what if that didn't happen? What if the Doctor saved him and created a bubble universe? And what if Edric aged 500 years and became King of the Scorpions?
What?
He's not kidding.
I wish I was joking.
I'm just thinking of that movie, The Mummy Returns, where they have the Rock, and he's a giant CGI scorpion.
That's better than this.
Can I read the summary for The Boy That Time Forgot?
Please do.
Please.
In a weird jungle valley, the Victorian explorer Rupert Von Thal saves Bloomsbury novelist Beatrice Mapp from a ghastly death in the grip of a monstrous mantis. But this is no lost world of the dinosaurs. According to their traveling companions, the Fifth Doctor and Nyssa, all four have been transported back to a primitive Earth that should have never existed. Further down the valley is the vast city where the Scorpions live. Walking, talking, intelligent scorpions ruled over by their cruel and sinister master. The Doctor and Nyssa are being drawn ever tighter into the clutches of the boy that time forgot. Can you guess who the cruel and sinister master is?
Oh my.
Yeah. They didn't just bring back Edric. They brought him back as
an asshole.
They brought him back as a villain.
Raniac, I want you to put. I'm going to link an image. I want you to put it into the video at this time. This is my genuine reaction to what you just said.
Okay. Yeah, pretty much. He's not played by Matthew Waterhouse because he's aged 500 years. He's voiced by the late Andrew Sachs.
I would also like to mention this. This is under the locations tab for the TARDIS wiki for The Boy That Time Forgot. The Scorpion King creates a city out of pure computations, the city of excellence watched over by Star, the remains of the alien computer the Cybermen left in control of the freighter.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, you know how they hid the Cybermen in Earthshock? They hide Adric in The Boy That Time Forgot.
This Big Finish.
Andrew Sachs is just credited as the Scorpion King, and at no point is Adric referred to in the publicity stuff.
I can safely say he is not on the cover.
No, he's not. They were keeping this as a big surprise. There you go.
I mean, Tip Palmares. Okay.
Yeah. Also, he's done some good stuff, and I've not heard this. I've not listened to this one myself, but
it's called Boy That Time Forgot, and the goddamn top of this Incan temple thing is a star, so it's not that hard to figure out.
Yeah, but it's subtle enough. I won't spoil how that ends, but yeah, it's quite the thing that ends. Also, just to make things even better, the story also features a Big Finish companion who is basically Edric's replacement in that he's rather disliked by the fandom.
Who?
Thomas Chamberlain.
I have no idea who this is.
He is I guess we can call him a rogue companion, and I don't want to spoil too much about him, but he's a Victorian contemporary companion, and he certainly does a few things during his time on the TARDIS.
Oh, okay. So it's like Forge of Doomsday Adric, but all the time.
A lot worse than that.
Okay.
There is very few. I think his name's Chamberlain anyway. There are very few positive things to say about Thomas.
Wrap this podcast up now. I'm very tired.
Okay, so
wait until I tell you about the giant spider that Adric has as a companion.
Oh, great! Your favorite.
Yay!
So overall thoughts then. Do you want to go first to get it out of the way, Frez?
Sure, why not? I don't care for Earthshock. That's not to say that it's like bad. It is functional, big, stompy robot, shooty shot Doctor Who. It's not racist. It's not sexist. If you love it, that's fine. It's not what I go to Doctor Who for. After an admittedly pretty atmospheric part 1, we devolve into a Cyberman story that treats the Cybermen as interchangeable with evil robots. Not a lot really happens beyond skulking about a freighter, people pissed off at each other, lots of shooting, a bunch of Cybermen, and then we end with the death of Adric, which is dramatic, but also undercut by not my favorite Peter Davison, but it's one that we had to pull the Band-Aid off and do. Even though I didn't know that Kat knew what happened to Adric at the end, but now we know. Now we've done it. We don't really have to talk about it again. So, Earthshock. It's fine, I guess. So,
Okay.
One of you, please.
Yeah, Kat, you go next.
I kind of agree with Frez. This episode, the serial was fine. There were some parts of it that I think could have been cut out, just because they kind of not needed, like how much the Doctor and Adric wandered around the freighter for a while. Writers got to eat, I guess, but still, I mean, come on. I like the side characters. The side characters are interesting. A couple of them, not that great, but Scott at the very least was fantastic. I do wish that they had done a little bit more with the Cybermen than just a generic destroy the world plot. Blah ha 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 ha. And of course, I like I said before, and I'm not going to get into it again. I said my piece. I do have problems with Adric's death if it does turn out that was purely based on what the fandom wanted. If it wasn't, I still have problems with the fact that it's a child who is being sent his long, excruciating death. I mean, I kind of wish that they had played it a little bit more straight in the next episode, now that I know that they didn't. But there's not much I can really do about that other than say I don't like it. So, Earthshock, I think, was a pretty good episode. I don't know if I would watch it again, but at the very least, I enjoyed my time up until the last bit.
Yeah.
So, fuck you, Frez.
I will accept the blame there.
I think we had to cover this at some point. It's good that we got it out of the way now. Also, point of information on me, not Thomas Chamberlain, Thomas Brewster. Apologies for any Big Finish fans that, as we speak, are writing in the comments to say, it's Brewster, you idiot, not Chamberlain. I know, I got it wrong. Thomas Brewster.
I still have no idea who that is.
He's a manipulative dick.
Okay.
That's all you need to know about Thomas Brewster. So yeah, my thoughts on I just said Cybershock, god damn it, on Earthshock. It's not a bad serial on its own. It's not. The acting is pretty competent throughout. David Banks is terrific as the cyber leader. I really like the character of Lieutenant Scott. Professor Kyle doesn't do anything and then gets shot. That's unfortunate. I don't like Beryl Reid as Captain Briggs. But that's okay. The problem is, it mishandles the Cybermen dreadfully. The only Cyberman character that gets any kind of development or characterization is the cyber leader himself. All the others are generic shooty robots. That includes the lieutenant as well. And once we leave the caves in part 1 and part 2, things take a dip in quality. There's also quite a lot of production errors, but I can forgive that because, television's not easy to make, despite what other people might think. But there are better Cybermen stories out there, and of the ones I've watched, they tend to be in the modern era. Sorry to, burst the bubble of classic Cybermen fans, but I'm afraid it's kind of true. So yeah, that was my overall thoughts, turning the entire fandom against me. Way to go, me.
Okay, last time we said the Underwater Menace was pretty good. Fandom's already up for it.
True.
It's okay. We're already pretty much anti-fandom at this point, so...
God, looking at the clock, this took a long time. So why don't we get to the next story we're going to be talking about?
I do not apologize.
And I believe you are up, Brainiac, so what have you got for us?
Yeah, well, fun fact about me, this is the last week I will before my birthday. My birthday is on the Thursday that we're recording this. And
Goodness.
so it's my choice for the birthday. We've just
Yes.
watched a story where a classic Doctor Who villain didn't get the best of treatment or handling, I think it's safe to say. So why don't we remedy that with another story featuring a entirely different Doctor that handles the classic villain perfectly right. I think you might guess where this is going, Frez, but we're going to do something we've never done before. Because next time on Doctor Who Reviews, we're going to cover something that you and I have done, but Kat hasn't. Next time on Doctor Who Reviews, Sylvester McCoy stars in Remembrance of the Daleks.
Yes! This is an A-plus story. And this actually is the story that got me into classic Doctor Who. So.
Is this the one where Ace decides to just clobber Daleks over the head with a baseball bat?
Yes!
Can confirm.
Yes! Yes! I am all for this. I think I've seen it, but not reviewed it. So yes!
We did this way back as a classic review on your channel, but I hope you don't mind if we do it with Kat involved as well.
Yeah. Fucking, let's do it. I don't know how well that review aged anyway. So fine.
More fantastic Ace. I would love it.
That also means, of course, that any story we've done on your channel is now fair game, so I've opened up a whole can of worms there.
Don't worry. I like to think I've done some pretty good stories. And also Underworld and Attack of the Cybermen.
I don't care. This is my first pick in a while, and I'm making the most of it.
Yeah, I mean, you know what's funny? Is that for both our birthday picks, we went with McCoy stories.
There may be a reason for that. He's fantastic as a Doctor.
My birthday.
What did we do for your birthday? I can't remember.
We did Delta and the Bannerman.
No, that was yours. I mean, Kat's.
I don't remember if we did anything last year, but I have an idea of what we're going to do this year.
We did something for your birthday, but I can't remember what it was. I'll check it later. But yeah, it's a terrific story. Ace is brilliant in it.
We're going to...
This is just the antithesis of Earthshock, taking a classic villain and handling them as they're meant to be handled.
Well, this is one of those fan favorite stories where we actually agree. Like, sometimes, broken clock is right twice a day,
I'll go even further. It's a toss between this and The Curse of Fenric for my favourite ever classic serial. But we already did Fenric, so this might just edge out Fenric might just edge out Remembrance, but they're both brilliant.
I think Fenric edges out Remembrance as well, but they're both really good.
Yeah, and I can't wait for us to talk about it next week.
Oh, that's so fun. But so where can we find more thoughts and stuff to keep up with this lovely podcast, Rainiac?
You can find us on Twitter at ReviewsDoctor. You can write us a lovely email at goexterminateyourself@gmail.com. And if you want to follow Freezing Inferno, it's at Freezing Inferno on Twitter.com. Kat is at Concave Usurper at Twitter.com. And I'm at Rainiac the Maniac on Twitter.com. And all that remains then... I don't think there's anything else to cover. There's no videos going out. There's no more lockdown. There's no more lockdown watch-alongs. They're all done.
There's one thing. There's just one small little thing. And that's Back to the 11th Hour, available now on Amazon.com.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Go read it.
And from all good Kindle bookshops.
A certain member of this podcast is featured in it.
One of these days we have to get Krista on here.
Oh, God. If she's up for it, I would love that.
We have to get Krista on as a guest on this show sometime.
That would be so cool if she's up for it. But anyway, sign off.
Yeah. All that remains, as always, is to thank my two wonderful co-hosts for listening to, suffering with me for this for about the past 2.5 hours. Thank you to you, the audience, for listening to us suffer for about 2.5 hours. And we'll see you next time. For my pick, Remembrance of the Daleks. Until then, stay frosty, and bye for now.
Yay! Anyways, Earthshock.
Earthshock, yeah, okay.
Yay! Oh, and it's the Ides of March. I forgot about that.
Oh, so it is. Well, I can incorporate that
Yay,
into the
death
intro,
of
okay.
Julius Caesar.
3.
All the memes of Caesar salad being stabbed. Or Caesar dressing.
Caesar salad.
Oh my gosh, I actually have a story about this. So, when I was in college doing my baking and pastry degree, one of the things that we had to do was this sort of serving thing where we would act as servers and expediters and everything and have a restaurant experience, and we would have people come in from outside and they would have events there, and we would serve them like proper silver courses, fine dining. And one of the things that they taught us was tableside service. So we would make things like, Caesar salad and flambés, things like that. And I made the joke of, a Caesar salad is only complete when it has a big knife stuck in it. Nobody else in my entire class knew what the hell I was talking about.
Oh.
I'm reminded of a gag from The Naked Gun. When I see 3 guys in togas stabbing someone to death, I get involved. It was a Shakespeare Park adaptation of Julius Caesar, you moron.
God bless Leslie Nielsen.